Breaking joints. This advanced, unique treatment protocol uses natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body. These powerful, highly concentrated growth factors are put directly into your affected joint, going to work to soothe the inflammation and restore damaged tissue. A truly regenerative treatment. Finally, a new, different, highly successful approach to dealing with joint pain. Is it time you got a second opinion? Call QC Kinetics now and wake up to a life without pain. Call QC Kinetics today at 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics.
Asheville, Monsters of Rock and Roll Rapture. March 18th and 19th, Monster TNT explodes into the Egg Center. Metallic Monsters and Raw Horsepower. Tickets now at monstertnt.com or buy at Allen's Jewelry and Pawn for free pit passes.
They say singing can help you remember things, so here's some tips for parents out there during these tough times.
Number 1.
Make sure your kids wash their hands for 20 seconds after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside.
2.
Virtual playdates. Social and physical distancing can help save lives.
3.
Tell them they're safe and show your love and pride. Yes, we'll get through this together. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The NBA All-Star break. The 76ers say their newly acquired guard won't play in their 2 games this week in the All-Star game on Sunday. Their first game out of the break is Friday, February 25th. Things apparently not well between the Cardinals and franchise quarterback Kyler Murray. ESPN's Chris Mortensen reporting frustration on both sides. Murray feels he's been framed as the scapegoat for the one and done in the playoffs, and a source in the organization described Murray as self-centered, immature, and someone who points fingers. Ultimately, though, the Cards need to figure things out with their QB, says ESPN's Mina Kimes.
Murray is the one you build around here, Jeff. Granted, yes, he struggled in the playoffs. There is absolutely blame to be assigned there, but that's coming off a fantastic season. And if I'm an organization, again, regardless of what sort of emotions or disagreements are happening in the building, the number one thing you got to figure out is how do you make it work with a young quarterback going forward.
Gonzaga back at number 1 in the latest AP men's college basketball poll. It is the 3rd stint in the top spot for the Zags this season.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Work. That's work. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on now to espnavl.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingalls Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We are live in the Ingalls studio, and the show always brought to you by Ingalls. Low prices, love the savings. Check them out at ingalls-markets.com. And Super Bowl 56 is in the books, and Matthew Stafford is a Super Bowl champion.
I'm just really glad I didn't play the drinking game if you had to take a sip every time they showed Matthew Stafford's wife, because I would be legally dead.
It was quite a bit, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable. Like, I swear to you, I think they should. Lou, I can't pronounce it. Anarumo. There we go. Him, Matthew Stafford's wife. There were a few others. LeBron James, I saw him 46 times.
Right.
Like, okay, I don't care. Show me the game. Show me the game. I need to see how we're lined up. I would like to see the game.
Well, I mean, when you're in L.A., you're in the Rams' house, and all the stars are there. And, it's a status symbol.
And that's fine. There's one thing we can definitively agree about last night.
Okay.
It's the greatest halftime show I've ever seen. It's not all that close.
It's not the greatest halftime show.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later in the show. And I think the lovely viewers of this show will show you just exactly how wrong you are.
It was not the greatest of all time. It's up there, though. It's up there on the list. It was everything about last night was fun. Look, the end of the game, it has a little bit of a dark cloud hanging over it for some. I know Bengals fans are upset today about how the refs got involved on the last drive for the LA Rams. But, I mean, come on. You did have that one blatant pass interference on T. Higgins that did not get called. So, whatever you want to say, yeah, I will agree. I will agree that the call on Logan Wilson was awful. It was awful.
Not just awful, it was horror awful.
It was awful. Of course, extended the drive instead of it being 4th down and 8?
Yeah, and the fact you had an illegal snap that somehow got missed only compounded how angry it made me.
Oh, I missed that.
4 linemen and Matthew Stafford all moved, and the center didn't.
On the Logan Wilson play?
Yes.
Oh. Well, yeah,
which made me even angrier. Look, I don't ask for much. Just be consistent. This officiating crew for 58 minutes. Let them play. And I'm fine with that. Then you threw 4 flags in a row.
Yep.
That's where you start to draw my ire.
Yep. Throughout the first 58 minutes of the game, there were 2 penalties called on each team. The Bengals had 2, and the Rams had 2. And on that last drive, they threw...
Which, by the way, is the perfect way. And I thought this up until that last flag. This game has been called perfectly. I did not care about the T. Higgins thing.
Why?
I did not care.
Why can you not care? How can you not care?
Because that wasn't the only time. Now, that was the most drastic.
It was.
Don't get me wrong.
It was. I mean, it cost them 6.
There was a lot of... Well, first of all, okay, let me just be real honest about that cost them 6.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey was way out of position anyway. It didn't matter. I mean, now, granted, is there a possibility he would have made the tackle? Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But even before he was ever touched, he is woefully out of position. I loved what Colin Cowherd said on Twitter last night. For the best cover corner in the league, Jalen Ramsey sure does get beat a lot.
Yeah. He did not have the best of games last night.
No, but it was enough. And that's the thing. The game it did not go exactly how people thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Although, if you did listen to the blow-by-blow of how Vegas told you that we went through on Friday, it sounded pretty similar.
It did.
Cincinnati has the ball. 2 minutes to go. You score, you win. You don't, you lose.
Yeah,
it's exactly how I told you it was going to go. Thank all that's good and holy I had the Bengals plus 4.5. Because I'm telling you right now, if I had somehow gotten beat in that game by that penalty, I would not have been here today.
Mm-hmm.
And my head would hurt markedly worse than it already does.
The conspiracy theorists are all over the place. I've already seen it mentioned in the comments here at thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can get in on the chat that way. The Rams should have been 4th and game from the 10-yard line, but Goodell called down during the 2-minute warning and said that we're not going to let LA lose this game, says Rob Johnson. Look, that didn't happen.
No, that's not how this works.
They don't script things in the NFL. Let's please stop with this.
Yeah. Let me explain something to you. If the NFL, if they were fixing the league, they're doing quite possibly the most god-awful job of it that you've ever seen. There's probably not a team in the NFL that's less popular than the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
If there is, it might be the team they were playing against. So if you're fixing this league, you are doing a pitifully bad job of it.
Oh, yeah. And what would have been the better story? The better story would have been the Cincinnati Bengals.
Better story would have been Joe Burrow shows up looking like the villain from Roger Rabbit and just comes in and steals the Super Bowl trophy.
He did look like that guy.
First of all, I would wear that suit. If you know somewhere to get one, you just go ahead and comment that. Because I would wear that all day.
Better suit. Okay, better suit. Was it Joe Burrow's pregame halftime or pregame Super Bowl suit, or was it Conor McGregor's with the pinstripes that he wore to the?
Nope.
Was that the Mayweather fight?
Yep. It's without a doubt, no doubt, Joe Burrow.
Really?
Joe Burrow has officially claimed the title of NFL player I would most like to go to a bar smoke a cigar with, and just see where the night takes us.
Okay.
Because I have a weird feeling that Joe Burrow would be a whole lot of fun. That's all. You take that how you want to.
Right.
I can see me and Joe having some adventures.
Okay. The Tiger King and the Mullet King.
My mullet and his fashion sense, we would do just fine.
23-20 was the final score. The LA Rams come out with the victory, and of course, yes, they're getting all of the accolades today. Did you see Sean McVay showed up? He had to show up this morning for the postseason press conference, and he shows up, and they're like, "We're not going to keep you long, Sean. It's only going to be 3 questions." He sat through like 10 questions, and then he left the podium with 3 questions, my tail, and except for he didn't say tail, and walked out. It was great.
Well, I mean, he probably has to get to Amazon to sign some paperwork.
He ain't doing that.
Okay.
You think so?
Oh, 100%.
You think so?
100% I do.
Nah.
And you know what tells me that?
What?
Did you not find the timing to... First of all, I told you this over a month ago. Did you not find the timing of Sean McVay wants to start a family, and if we win this, it's a perfect time, just right off in the sunset? Mm-hmm. Does that not strike you as strange?
Not as strange as it struck me that Aaron Donald came out, or that the Aaron Donald rumor came out before the game.
Does it not strike you as strange that Kevin O'Connell hadn't been in Minnesota yet? That not weird to you?
Oh, you thought he would have been on the red eye last night to be there this morning?
Well, you're already the latest hired coach in the NFL by a solid week and a half. Is that not weird to you? Nobody has left L.A. Nobody.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theory guy. I'm just saying all of these things in a media market that is one of the more passive but intense, that just tells me there's some more to that than people think.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, if I was Sean McVay, all the way in. You tell me I can ride off into the sunset this way, knowing full well, first of all, that team's going to age like milk because your top 8 players are great. They're also very expensive, and the depth on your roster, a little bit lacking.
Yeah, and you got to say goodbye to a couple of them this year.
I'm just telling you. And look, I'm as competitive as they come. If you're telling me I can walk off with that Super Bowl and go to Amazon and make $1 million a week, I would say there's something to that.
Okay.
And the thing that I read in the article, the AP article that came out that nobody ever talks about, you have to remember his grandfather did this. His grandfather literally worked in the NFL forever. Dad never did it. Why? Because he saw how much of a labor it was on his father.
Right.
Sean McVay saw that too. I can't tell you he's going to leave right now. I can tell you this is not going to be somebody that coaches forever.
Oh no, and I can't fault him.
I'll be shocked.
And I can't fault him at all for that. I mean, he has seen what it is. He's already been doing this game for 5 years. Is that what it is? He's been the head coach.
This is his 4th year. He's been to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years.
Right. So, I mean, at 36 years old, you've already hit that mountaintop. There's no reason for you to continue to do this. I don't know. Part of me just feels like, why would he do it now?
Take your shot. Because there's an offer that's not going to be there.
You don't think it'll be you don't think that'll be a standing offer whenever he's ready?
Not like this. This is the most aggressive any network has ever been pursuing talent. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I started hearing this over a month ago. This is not a new piece of information. Now, if they had lost, not going to happen. He's too competitive for that.
Right. But now that he's won a Super Bowl, maybe he's ready to move on. I don't believe that.
I actually get to use a different button for our first Super Chat of the day. This one is from our resident Canadan, Armchair Commentary. Best case scenario happened. Now we get the chaos of Aaron Donald retiring, McVay leaving, and Burrow having a revenge tour. Oop, got to turn it up.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
The Burrow revenge tour, and I have to say this. I would be remiss as the guy that that said this, and I've caught a lot of flack from Bengals fans. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, Cincinnati. I was wearing one of your jerseys last night. Mm-hmm. I was the biggest Bengal fan on this planet. If on April 28th in Las Vegas, you take any card to that podium that says anything but offensive lineman, literally there should be a big stick in their draft room of no,
right?
No, you are. If you submit that, we will hurt you.
Right. He got sacked 7 times last night.
And it could have been more.
Yeah, which tied a Super Bowl record. Yeah, I mean, if he were not so elusive, he would have got more than that.
I do just have to maintain, or just state this for the record. Joe Mixon now has more Super Bowl touchdown passes than Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray multiplied by each other. They're all high picks from Oklahoma. It's just the only one of them has a touchdown pass, and he's the one that doesn't do that.
That's pretty funny.
It's a great stat.
I like that.
And Sam Bradford, you can throw him in there too, just for posterity's sake.
Sam Bradford. Now, see, that would have been the shocker of all shockers. I think we would have been more shocked if Sam Bradford had led the Rams to a Super Bowl than we were with Matt Stafford. No doubt about that.
It was a great game. It just wasn't the game that you expected to see.
Well, we expected it was going to be more high-flying. It was going to be a whole lot more scoring. At least I did.
Yeah,
that's why I
had a shekel or two on the over. Throw! Just score!
But I thought it was a great job done by all. It was a competitive game from stem to stern. The Bengals never let it get out of hand, and the Rams did the same thing. Like, at that one part in the game where... it was right after halftime.
That could have gone tremendously
Like, right after halftime, obviously, the first play of the half is the long touchdown to T. Higgins that they didn't call the PI on, which I still don't understand that. But
did you hear the explanation?
It didn't meet the level of...
No. They said there was no grab, tug, or twist and turn.
Which is awful.
Which is a lie, for one, because I think Jalen Ramsey was looking out of his ear hole.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it go. Like, if you miss one that bad, don't try to rationale it. Right. Just, you know what? We boo-booed. Sorry.
Yeah. It didn't meet the threshold for a face mask because there was no grab and turn. Excuse me. So in mid-stride, Jalen Ramsey just decided to start looking at the end zone rather than the ball? Okay.
Well, I'm going to state for the record again that Jalen Ramsey was cooked regardless of the twist, turn, and tug, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but on the flip side, it would have been a 30-yard gain rather than a 75-yard touchdown.
Maybe. Jalen Ramsey was painfully out of position, which seems to it's weird to me that nobody's bringing that up. And T. Higgins ran a stop route.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, kudos to Joe Burrow for underthrowing that ball, because that is not what that route was. T. Higgins adjusted the ball. Jalen Ramsey goes flying. Now, Did he have a little bit of an assist in that? Yes, he did. But to compare that call to the Logan Wilson, did you look at him mean? Like, did you say his shoelaces didn't match? Like, what exactly was the penalty here?
Padding, heavy petting. That's what it was. It was the left hand patted him a little too hard on the tum-tums.
Yeah, he breathed on him too aggressively.
But no, after the touchdown, then they come out in first play. Matthew Stafford tries to throw it to Brian Skowronek. And he couldn't get he got a hand on the ball, couldn't get 2 hands on the ball, and it flips right into the hands of a defender. At that point, I went, oh, God, this is the nightmare scenario that we've all been expecting of Matt Stafford is going to throw away this Super Bowl.
I thought it was about to aggressively roll down the hill.
Right. And then the defense stepped up. They got stops where they had to, and they were all over Joe Burrow last night. Again, 7 sacks in the game, tied the Super Bowl record.
And there were 2 more that didn't count.
Yeah.
There was another one that was a sack that for some reason did not count. And the 4th and 1 where he just had to flip it over his head.
Right.
That's also a sack.
But do you blame... I mean, I know there are people that blame the refs. That say this is the way that went down. Is there someone else more to blame for all of this? For the Bengals' downfall.
You cannot leave Cooper Kupp that open.
Yep.
You can't leave him one-on-one. You just can't.
Eli Apple, most hated man in Bengaldom right now.
And Eli Apple had a reasonably good game before that. But when Odell Beckham went down, there is absolutely no excuse that you didn't do the Calvin Johnson thing of, we're going to defend you like this is a punt. We have 2 guys on you at all times. Because who else were you scared of?
No
Bryson Hopkins?
He had a pretty decent game. It was fine.
4 for 47.
It's more than you ever expected.
Woo.
Come on, you didn't expect Bryson Hopkins was going to play one factor in that game. And he did.
Yay. Cooper Kupp won that game.
Of course he did. That's why he's the MVP.
And let me tell you something that this is not going to be real popular. Matt Stafford wasn't good. I hate to break that to you. He was not good.
Oh, he was fine.
Fine and good don't mean the same thing.
True.
So, he was fine.
But it wasn't like he had a horrible game.
No, he was the 3 cheese chicken penne of Super Bowls. It's fine. I'm not jumping up and down about it. It gave me the substance that I needed, and away we go.
And away we go.
The defense won that game. Period.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they got that much pressure on Joe Burrow is what won in this game. And the crazy part is even after the second half adjustments, where they just started torturing that offensive line, Burrow still had a shot to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Still had a shot.
Mm-hmm.
If they had, and I just, I'm not taking joy in this. I swear to you I'm not, because I was so dedicated to the Bengals winning last night. The sheer fact of how much crap I have taken for saying that they should have drafted Penny Sewell. Look, I understand how good Jamar Chase was. I totally get that.
Right.
Bet you wish you'd had an offensive lineman last night that could even get in the way of Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say the commentary from Chris Collinsworth, who explained how the center couldn't go help on Aaron Donald anymore, that was the adjustment.
Yep.
Okay, you want to keep turning at him? Fine. We'll send somebody right behind him. It was a high level response by Raheem Morris.
Yep.
But I'll be honest with you. One of the big questions, if you had to bet your house on one of these teams to be back in the Super Bowl within the next 3 years, who is it?
It's the Cincinnati Bengals.
It's the Bengals, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
To me, it's not even close.
I would agree. And I think a lot of that has to depend on what the what the Rams can do in this offseason. But it's going to be hard. You got Von Miller is not going to be around, unless you do some flipping. You do some cap magic to get him and OBJ back. And unfortunately, it looks like OBJ's got a torn ACL.
He does. That's unfortunate. And it will be, that makes for a really tough time frame.
Yeah, it does.
Because that puts you like right at the kickoff of the season before you would even have a shot to be on the field.
Yep.
But to start the 4 o'clock hour, we have official Super Bowl odds, and some of them are stupid. And I might have already taken what I won last night, Bengals plus 4.5, and put it on a slew of teams that I will tell you at the beginning of the 4 o'clock hour.
Also coming up next, we're going to talk about it. Was it the best or was it the worst halftime show of all time? Coming up next here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, our number's running about 10 degrees colder than average for this Valentine's. Our lows down into the low 20s here for the valley, and even some teens with higher elevations tonight. We do warm up this week. I've got some 60-degree numbers for you by Thursday. 53 our high Tuesday, 55 on Wednesday, and some 1-inch rains coming in Thursday, and mild temperatures, highs of 62 by Thursday. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. DQ fans, Valentine's Day needs no reservations. Just a DQ Cupid cake. It's got a layer of red velvet cake blizzard, cake pieces, and cream cheese icing. And it's the perfect size for 2. So head to DQ and make the DQ Cupid cake the centerpiece of your celebration. Only at your DQ. Happy tastes good.
Asheville, Monsters of Rock and Roll Webster. March 18th and 19th, Monster TNT explodes into the Egg Center. Here they come, metallic monsters and raw horsepower. Starring the high-flying school bus called Higher Education. 3 monster shows. Tickets now at MonsterTNT.com or buy at Allen's Jewelry and Pawn for free pit passes. Monster TNT, the Egg Center.
QC Kinetics provided amazing pain relief for a former professional baseball player, and you have access to the same life-changing treatments as retired Braves pitcher Jose Alvarez.
I put a lot of stress and strain and work on my right arm, but my right elbow took most of the damage with 3 surgeries.
Arthritis developed, and the pain was unbearable.
It wasn't just pain when I was trying to play sports. It was anytime I was moving the right elbow. It was pretty excruciating at times.
That's when Jose discovered QC Kinetics and the regenerative treatments that help the body heal itself, restoring damaged tissue and providing relief with no surgery or downtime. Jose's message to the medical professionals at QC Kinetics?
My elbow is feeling outstanding. Where were you 10 years ago, for crying out loud?
QC Kinetics is right here. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 826-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517.
You know your closet well, but what does it sound like? Yes, your closet. Does it whisper your taste? Does it scream your taste? The new Stitch Fix Freestyle, your personalized store, gets to know your unique style and fit. Its selection transforms to show you only the looks and trends you'll love. With a store that evolves alongside your taste, your closet will scream, "So you," without actually screaming. Introducing Stitch Fix Freestyle for women and men, your personalized store. We're so you.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Hey guys, I'm Ziggy, your local Philly girl, owner of Ziggy's Bakery and Deli. I've created a traditional northern deli with only the most authentic cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia, served with provolone, white American, or Cheese Whiz. Our other classic deli sandwiches are made with the best quality meats and cheeses, available sliced by the pound. Join us for breakfast for house-made bagels with our custom cream cheeses. Or for something heartier, try a pork roll, egg, and cheese or house-cured lox. Ziggy's Bakery and Deli, in the corner of Asheville Commons, 1550 Hendersonville Road, open 8 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday.
At Ingalls, we know the ever-present struggle of, what am I going to make for dinner this week? That's why we started the Ingalls Table. It's a website that brings the best chefs and food experts right into your kitchen. You can sort through hundreds of recipes for every occasion, watch how-to videos, and print shopping lists to take to the store. It's all waiting for you at ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls. Low prices. Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumping a bag of hammers.
It's ESPN Asheville. I'm Tank Spencer, and Jeremy Greene is here as well. We were at the Social last night in East Asheville, watching the Super Bowl, enjoying all the chicken wings. The buffet was fantastic. They always do a great job.
I ate somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 chicken wings.
400? That's a lot.
I mean, literally, I had 7 plates.
I mean, that's wild. I put the over under at 40, and that
it was. I don't even know how many. It was a lot. They had barbecue. There's something about a barbecue chicken wing when you're not expecting it. Because I didn't see those the first 2 trips.
Right.
Oh, I love barbecue anything.
You just like that little sweet on the backside of the heat?
Oh, it's so good.
Okay. All right. It was a whole lot of fun, and thanks to everybody who came down to hang out with us. Stephen Tao, Matthew Hoffman. Had a lot of guys from the show up. And look, the halftime show, it was everything that we hoped it would be. It wasn't the greatest of all time, though. Come on. Nothing beats Prince.
I mean, you can be wrong. That's totally fine. That is the first halftime show I have ever watched from pillar to post. And I don't think I blinked during it. It's also the only halftime show that has ever changed the playlist that I listen to the next day.
Interesting.
I have listened to nothing but Dr. Dre and Eminem all day, with one Creed song that accidentally slipped in there because it's in my mix on YouTube.
Oh, my gosh. Of course, it's in your mind.
It's my sacrifice. It's a great song.
Speaking of overrated bands, we'll be revealing the next round, second round of the overrated bands bracket coming up in the happy hour today. Immediately following this program, only available on the YouTube stream. Go to thesportsocracy.com.
Some massive late upsets.
Massive.
There was a swing. Okay. First of all, one of them did not go my way. One of them did. Massive swings late.
I thought the production of the halftime show was awesome last night, and I get there's a generational gap. You know, the people older than the Gen Z generation didn't really like it, or not the Gen Z, the Oregon Trail generation. You know, the one that's right in between Gen X and millennials. Like, we all dug it. We all thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
I would love to know how much weight 50 Cent has gained. 50 Cent looked like me.
I turned to our buddy Andy and I said, "Did you see what inflation did to 50 Cent? That dude's at least $1.50 now."
Yeah, he was. I first of all, I've heard that joke
And
about
then-
900 times.
And then hanging upside down, I didn't get that because I didn't know the original video. Apparently, in the original music video for In the Club, he was hanging upside down.
Okay, I just figured it out. First of all, Stephen Tow in our comment said over under 49 and a half years old. Over says Prince, under says Last Night. I would agree with that. And anybody that says the name of that 50 Cent song as In the Club, as Mr. Spencer just did, also somebody that would probably vote for Prince.
Well, that's the name of the song, right?
Yeah, but you're saying it weird. I can't even really explain to you why you're saying it weird, but you are.
Okay, all right. Excuse me. But I thought it was all great.
Oh, it was
until Kendrick Lamar. That brought it all down.
You've said that 3 times today, and it has made me angrier every time you've said it.
Okay. Every person I have seen comment about the halftime show, that when they have one negative comment to say about it, it's always Kendrick Lamar.
Well, I mean, are those people all 906 years old?
I guess.
I thought it was perfect. It was perfect.
Perfect.
Snoop was phenomenal. Anything with Dr. Dre is going to get my seal of approval. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And now the bad thing for the NFL, you'll never top it. Ever. That halftime show and Devin Hester's kick return records, 2 things that will never be touched. Ever. Because I don't know how you could do it. I physically have sat down all day trying to figure out let's just say, take out realistic, and just what could you construct that I would enjoy more than what I saw last night?
Creed and Nickelback. And he would be all in. He's like, yeah, love it.
Yeah, no, that's still Creed all the way in. You lost me at Nickelback.
Oh, stop that. I thought it was fantastic. Like I said, the one down part for me was the Kendrick Lamar thing. You liked it, and fine. It is what it is.
It is the first time I have ever watched all of a halftime show, and I don't think I even blinked.
Right. But I think it was easily number 2. In the greatest halftime shows of all time. I just can't get that image out of my head of Prince standing there in a South Florida rainstorm just wailing on his guitar. It was the best performance that we've ever seen at a halftime show. And see, Dr. Dre needed help. You gotta give it to Prince. He did it all, just him.
I'm asking in the comments. We shall let the listeners of this show decide. Best halftime show last night, Prince. There is nothing else that I will even listen to.
Oh, come on. You're not Bruno Mars and Coldplay and Beyonce that didn't do it for you?
Oh, Coldplay. I'm out at Coldplay. Coldplay could have given out $100 bills at halftime, and I was still, please, anything else.
Shakira and J-Lo at 3.
I would agree with that, yes.
Okay, all right. And Michael Jackson, were you too young for the Michael Jackson halftime show? Yeah, I mean that.
I don't
that
even
was
know
iconic.
what Super Bowl that was.
That was 93, so
I guess
it was Cowboys.
Yeah, I was too busy drinking my juice and trying not to boom boom in my pants. So I don't remember that one.
Yeah. No, Michael Jackson was definitely up there. 1993 halftime show. Generationally speaking, we all have to try to get along at some point.
I will say, I saw somebody post this on social media that everybody born between 1985 and 1995 had this moment where they went, they scheduled a halftime show for young people like us. And then you thought about it for a minute and went, uh-oh.
We're the old people now.
Now the younger generation is going, why are they doing this? And we're all excited.
Well, if you did. And if you didn't believe it, once 50 Cent showed up on the screen, you went, oh, yeah, we're all old now. All of us. The performers, those of us enjoying it, we're all old now.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, Jeremy, you may remember, I guess it might have been a couple of months ago, I told you about the Lay's Golden Grounds. These are the potato chips that they went and took dirt from all of the NFL stadiums, or not all of them, 29 of the NFL stadiums, because some stadiums were just like, no, you can't have our dirt. They took the dirt from the stadiums, took it out to the fields. They planted potatoes in the dirt, and Lay's has been offering up all of these bags of chips that have grown in greatness, that have grown in the dirt from your stadium. Well, we have a winner. There are a bunch of winners. You had to go online and you had to tweet them out and all that kind of stuff and see if you could win one of these bags. And somebody did that for our good friend Josh Michael over at Star 104.3. And this is what it sounded like this morning when they called. They called the radio station and talked to Ariel and said, "Hey, we got to call Josh. We got to get this. We got to get this going. We want to surprise him because Josh just had surgery the other day. And if you don't know, Josh is on the kidney transplant list. And they wanted to do something nice for Josh after his surgery. And just so happens that here's how it went down.
You had to go onto Twitter. You had to explain why you deserved the chips. And Sarah and Celeste, they both went on Twitter and they put out a tweet. And they shared this tweet. And it says, "Lay's, no one deserves Eagles chips and a kidney transplant more than Josh Michael Live, our favorite Star 104.3 radio host and in Asheville, North Carolina." And they shared pictures of you with Nay Brown at the field in your Eagles jersey, and it's just awesome. And they chose you.
Oh, Celeste said that is amazing. I don't know what to say. That is absolutely awesome. Thank you so very much for thinking about me, and for doing that. I'm telling you what, it's gonna be something in the man cave that nobody else has, Ariel.
I know. That's what I said. So, especially after your surgery, they really wanted to share this with you.
Celeste, are you still on the line? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I can't, from the bottom of my heart, for you and your mom, Sarah. Thank you so much for thinking about me and entering in that contest for me. And yeah, I just I really appreciate it. You really lifted my spirits this morning. I really appreciate that.
So for a happy Valentine's Day for Josh Michael of Star 104.3, he's got his own bag of Philadelphia Eagles chips grown in the dirt from the stadium. I just thought, what a great thing for the listeners to do for Josh as he's going through this struggling times, and all of our thoughts and prayers are with Josh in his journey.
A very cool story. If there's one person that had a worse night last night than Joe Burrow, it's Mattress Mac.
Oh, no. He did.
Yeah, he had a money line bet on the Cincinnati Bengals that was $4.5 million.
Record breaker.
It is the biggest mobile bet ever placed in U.S. history. But that's not the reason that I'm telling this story. The reason that I'm telling this story is that now, if you go back 5 weeks, in 5 weeks, just the wagers that we know, he's lost $15.4 million.
Wow.
He had the Astros. He had Alabama to beat Georgia. And now he had the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, no.
That is a tremendous losing streak.
It is.
Maybe you should take a cooling off period, Mattress Mac.
Yeah, but I wonder how much of that. I would love to know the accounting of that. And that's not something he's never going to share. But I would love to know the account because he's still running the thing where he will basically guarantee money back for people who buy like $3,000 worth of mattress, worth of betting stuff. He will pay it back if he wins his bet.
Yes.
So what he makes in the, so maybe he didn't come out all that bad, even though he's laid down $15 million.
I don't really care how you spend this. You lose $15 million, that's a bad day. I don't care who you are.
Yep.
Elon Musk loses $15 million, bad day. Now, he probably doesn't notice it, but I'm going to wager Mattress Mac is not as affluent as Elon Musk.
Yeah, no. I don't think there's any shot of that.
That's a bad week. That's a bad few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That makes my last few weeks look like a Tonka toy. Speaking of that, I got some heaters today.
Ooh, heaters coming up in Green on Green and 5 on it. Green on Green just a few moments away here on ESPN Asheville. So it was a really weird weekend because, of course, we're getting ready for the Super Bowl, and then the Sean McVay story comes out of he may step away and go to TV. The Aaron Donald thing comes out, which I think is more of a contract ploy anyway, but I'm with Les Snead on this one. I don't buy it for a second that Aaron Donald's thinking about stepping away from the game. But we also have the Kyler Murray story going on down in Arizona. And look, Kyler, buddy, hang in there. You got a lot of talent on this team. In the last 2 years, the team that hosted the Super Bowl won it. Your turn's next, buddy.
Oh, his turn's not coming. not with Cliff Kingsbury as his coach.
Not with Cliff Kingsbury. So Aaron Murray. Wow, I was taking that back to Georgia days. So Kyler Murray apparently told Colt McCoy during the playoff game that with a minute to go in the game, hey, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore.
So I got to ask this question a lot at the end of last week, and I put nothing into this. Then the weekend happened. And the weekend told me that there is more to this than I thought there was. I thought this was just Kyler angling for the extension because now he's extension eligible. So they have until, I think it's May 4th, to kick in the option year for next year, which they will. And I thought he was angling for an extension. I have heard so many bad things about Kyler Murray in the last 3 days. Somebody is telling somebody this. The latest one, this comes from Chuck Harris. Just heard this on 98.7. During halftimes, Kyler Murray is known to sit at his locker and call his girlfriend.
Oh.
This is at halftime of games. Or put his earbuds in and isolate himself from the team.
What?
That is one of only about 10 things that I've heard about Kyler Murray. They're coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
They're coming from somewhere, and I cannot help but think it's from directly in the front office. There has always been a thought that Kyler Murray was not necessarily as vested as you would want him to be for a franchise quarterback.
Okay.
I've always heard that he was not as sold on Cliff Kingsbury. Now, to me, I don't know how you could be. I don't know how you look at a team that's this talented, that regressed to this point, and not go, this is a problem with the coaching staff. But now the question is, where do you go from here? There are times in these negotiations that things are said that you cannot come back from. This is the reason that I never really believed that Aaron Rodgers was going to get moved, because nothing in that stepped to the level of, we can't come back from this. This is just like fights with your spouse, all right? Everybody that's in any kind of committed relationship, you have quarrels from time to time.
Yeah.
There are things that you can never say and take back. We're getting eerily close to that for Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can never unsay that he's selfish. You can never unsay that he completely separates himself from the team. Because anytime something goes awry, that's going to come back up. And now look, Arizona is not a media market that is as intense as a New York, even the Texas markets. This is a really quiet media market. But we're getting really eerily close to the, you can't unsay that.
Yeah.
You can't unsay that he separates himself from the team, because now anytime something goes not your way, that's going to creep into the head of fans.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be Kyler's fault.
Is he fully invested? Is he fully invested in being here? And when he did the scrub of his social media account, that's what people do. That didn't rub me the wrong way. I see people do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then weird, they just find a way to resolve it.
Absolutely. I just sloughed it off when I heard that of like, oh, you guys are making a big deal out of this. It's nothing. But maybe it is.
I don't know that there's a resolve here. And I'm going to be honest with you. Part of it is because I don't know that he can ever win a Super Bowl. Arizona has to be looking at this going, we took Josh Rosen in the first round and within 1 year sloughed that off and went another direction. We hired a coach that could make the most of you. How many playoff wins you got?
None.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now you have to look in the division and go, are we better than the Rams? No. Are we going to be better than them? No. 49ers, rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm. You don't think they could be better than the 49ers?
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't. this team's up against it salary cap-wise. They were very old. They went all in this year, and what happened? Teams in the NFL figured out that Kyler Murray is so short that all you have to do is throw interior pressure at him. He can't get away from him.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you have to do. And it was destroying them at the end of the year. And so now you're at this impasse of you have a franchise quarterback that somebody in the organization is leaking anything that they could possibly say against him.
Right.
You've got a coach that too many of us look at and go, you're not an NFL head coach. You're not. I mean, the scheme is cute, and the fact that you can scheme people like Rondale Moore open and get them touches, that's all well and good. You're not a head coach in this league. And I'm looking at all of this going, there is a fall apart that could happen here that would be an absolute disaster. And I'm also looking at there's probably not a player in the NFL that could be had in a trade that would fetch more than Kyler Murray would.
Really?
Still on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
So you got one more year of cheap. Then you go option year. So you're 2 years away from paying this guy. Who else does that? Who else qualifies there?
Right.
That's anywhere near this level of quarterback.
But what could you fetch for him?
Kyler?
Yeah.
Oh.
With all of
Give
these,
me a team.
With all of these reports coming out, what would Denver be willing to give?
3 1s, 3 2s, and a player.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like a high-level player?
Mm-hmm. And it might be 3 1s, 3 conditional 3s that bump up to a 2 if he's still on the team every year.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's the level of return that you could see from Kyler Murray.
So this is the kind of deal that everybody was expecting for Deshaun Watson or for Russell Wilson or for Aaron Rodgers.
It would be more because he hasn't been paid yet. So you can still build a team around him, draft well, and you build in the latitude to do a lot of things. Here's my problem. Where does Kyler Murray fit in the pantheon of quarterbacks?
Where does he fit?
Mm-hmm. I did this before the show.
I'll say he's got to be in the top dozen.
You're lower on him than I am.
Right?
And I thought I was drastically lower. I have him at 11.
Have him at 11. Okay. Yeah.
I have him at 11. But he's the only attainable piece, and I'll be really honest with you, if I was the Arizona Cardinals and all of these things are true, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. I'm not going to tie myself to Cliff Kingsbury, and I'm not going to tie myself to you.
I would agree.
Not when I can completely flip the decks. And 2 years from now, the Rams are going to regress. It's just not going to happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
If Aaron Donald walked away, which I don't really buy, but let's say he did, you're still not better than them.
Right.
Even without Aaron Donald, you're still not better than them. You're still not better than San Francisco. You're very close to Seattle. But let's say the Trey Lance thing doesn't work out. The Rams are going to regress.
Yes.
2 years from now, you could be in a prime position because I don't think you can win with him. I really don't. I don't, at least not how it's currently constituted.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona does not draft well enough for a quarterback that is – he's not limited per se because he's very fast. He's a very good scrambler, and he's got a decent enough arm. He's still 5'9". At the end of the day, he's still 5'9". And I think that might be generous.
Yeah, but they've been saying quarterbacks are too short for a long time. Russell Wilson and Drew Brees and guys like that. And I get, Kyler might not have – he might be a little shorter than those guys, but still, I mean – he's got a lot of talent, and he's got a lot of talent that I think there will be a team that will be interested if he ever does actually hit the market.
Scott Coachell in our comments said that would be the dumbest trade ever. He'll never be more than what he is now. I don't disagree with anything you just said, but there's one thing you have to understand. Look how many teams are a quarterback away.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Jason Trump said this. Imagine if he was in Tennessee. With that infrastructure and all of the things they have. And you have a 2-year window, one where he's still on a rookie deal, making $10 million. One where he's on a 5th-year option, making $25 million. Now, the Ryan Tannehill thing would obviously be a problem there because you can't really move that contract.
Right.
But I look at Denver the same way. I look at Pittsburgh the same way. I look at a slew of other teams the same way.
Yeah.
There's nobody else out there. Russell Wilson, not being traded. Let me shut that down right now. Not being dealt under any circumstances. That is verbatim what I was told from somebody that would know drastically better than I would.
Yeah.
You better move off the Russell thing because you're wasting your breath. Aaron Rodgers, same thing. You're wasting your breath. Right now, nobody will touch Deshaun Watson.
Another report that has come out in, I guess it was within the last day, it might have been overnight last night, was Chris Mortensen saying that the Indianapolis Colts could very well cut Carson Wentz.
They're going to move on.
Because they're not going to be able to trade that $29 million contract to anybody else. So
well,
if they did
you might
that,
be able to eat more of them. There's a lot more maneuverability there than people think.
Maybe, but if they took the decision to outright cut him, they would be a good position for
Well, and you would also save a ton of money because all the bonus money stayed with Philly.
Right.
Well, not all, but the bulk of it.
So
Indianapolis can get out of that for nothing. But see, this is one of those things where, and I hate to tie this back to something we did a long time ago. This goes into that losing thing that we talked about with Stephen Ross.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me right now that the Colts would not have been better off to go, this is a spent cause. No doubt there is no shot this is the guy. And sit him down in week 13.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't believe that.
And granted, it took a lot for you to miss the playoffs.
Right.
But did you really think you were a threat? Did you really think you were going to go into the AFC playoffs and beat the Bengals, beat the Bills, beat the Chiefs, beat any of these teams? Because if you did, you're completely delusional. And that's why people like me say things like that. Like, well, why would you do this?
Right.
What sense does it make? You are completely mortgaging your future because now what?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the reason that somebody like Kyler Murray, even with his flaws, would fetch way more in a trade than people think.
Right.
And I think Arizona should be open to it.
I think they'd have Indianapolis fans jumping off of bridges if that happened.
Well, the only bad thing is Indianapolis would be trading picks that, they might still be in grade school.
Right. Exactly. What is going to come of the Kyler Murray situation down there in Arizona? We do not know, but we are going to keep on top of it all throughout the offseason here. You got Greene on Greene. It's coming up next right here on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy says he's got some haters. Let's have him put his money where his mouth is.
At Ingles, we know the ever-present struggle of what am I going to make for dinner this week? That's why we started the Ingles table. It's all waiting for you at ingles-markets.com. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This week at Ingles, select 38-ounce Heinz ketchup, 2 for $6. Select varieties 1 liter Bowler Seltzer water, 3 for $2. And select sizes and varieties Campbell's Chunky or Wellia soup, 3 for $5. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Recently, Total Wireless helped Garrett Dvorak throw a virtual baby shower for his wife, Ellie.
Just to see everyone's expressions, I don't have words for it.
Because when you move to Total Wireless, you can get amazing devices on 5G. And with unlimited plans starting at $25 a month per line for 4 lines, you could save up to $80 per month.
Total Wireless, you guys pulled through.
Total Wireless, do amazing. 5G capable device and SIM required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. Savings claim made when compared to 4-line postpaid plans of the leading carrier for 2021. See terms and conditions at totalwireless.com.
Ah, love is in the air on the free iHeartRadio app. Set the mood for your Valentine with Love Songs Radio, playing the most romantic songs of all time, from today's hits to the all-time classics. Feeling nostalgic? Go to ValentineMachine.com. Enter an anniversary date and get a playlist of the most popular love songs from that year. All you need is love and the free iHeartRadio app. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
iHeartRadio. Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert, a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth and jaws. Some kids think they'll never smile again, but donated orthodontic services may help them smile with confidence. To link to the application and eligibility requirements, visit aaoinfo.org.
Welcome back to the quickest podcast ever, brought to you by Kohl's. Today's topic, Valentine's Day savings. You know, there's nothing I love more than a good deal. You mean like 60% off jewelry, 25% off pajamas, and 25% off Hula throws and pillows? I just may have to treat myself this year. Did I mention you can get an extra 15, 20, or even 30% off with a Kohl's card and earn Kohl's cash? Okay, now that I'll take over candy and flowers any day.
Select styles, 15% offer ends February 14th. Hula by UGG. Coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Blitz that holiday debt and get $1,000 in your hand.
I just won $1,000.
Listen every hour from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. weekdays for your chance to win $1,000. Happening now.
Gold is near record highs, and Allen's pays the most for your gold jewelry, coins, diamonds, designer watches, and more. Take advantage of the high gold market price and get the cash you deserve today. Allen's Jewelry and Pawn, Patton Avenue, Tunnel Road, and in Cherokee.
Coffee's the closers on.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Well, if you need an explanation of how last week went, I had one push all year. I had 3 last week.
Ugh.
Didn't quite go my way. So I'm going back to the well to something that I absolutely love.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
There is nothing I love more than a good road dog, and I got 3 of them for you tonight. First, the Detroit Pistons are a 4.5-point dog at Washington. Washington has quit. They are bad, they are thin, and Kristaps Porzingis is not going to change that. They're much closer to Detroit than people want to acknowledge, and Detroit's been better on the road than people think. Give me Detroit plus 4.5. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a 10-point dog tonight at the Knicks. There are college teams that shouldn't be a 10-point dog to the Knicks, and I don't care if they played it on the moon. The Thunder are the second-best team in the NBA at covering spreads, and they're going to cover tonight. They won't win, but they will cover the 10. Look for Lou Dort to have a huge night. Give me the Thunder plus 10. Finally, the San Antonio Spurs are a 3.5-point dog tonight at the Chicago Bulls. Over-under is 234.5. First time these two teams played, 252, I think, was the total. I love the over in this game. San Antonio is closer to Chicago than people think without Zach LaVine. This is a projection. I don't think he plays. Bulls win, Spurs cover.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
And you can take all those wagers over to BetUs.com. BetUS.com. Use the promo code SPORTSOCRACY and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. BetUS.com. Use the promo code SPORTSOCRACY. Judgment Day came this weekend. I had to go in for my weigh-in at PhD Weight Loss, and I am proud to announce I lost 7 pounds last week. It was phenomenal. It was a great week for me. Down 7 more pounds. That means I am one step closer to the 40-pound bag at PhD Weight Loss. Jeremy, you're proud of me, aren't you?
I am. I am down to 255 myself, which is the lowest I've been since I was under 20 years old. I was in high school the last time I weighed this little. I feel great. I'm sleeping better. Last night at the social, a bunch of people that hadn't seen me in a long time kept commenting on how much better I looked than the last time they had seen me, which was a phenomenal feeling.
I got a lot of that, too. A lot of that, hey, I'm going to look at you sideways and you're going to disappear. And while that is the most annoying thing in the world,
a little bit of hyperbole.
Yeah, it's always great to hear it from folks on how great we are doing with the PhD weight loss program. You need to lose a lot of weight. Guess what? They can get you back on track. They'll teach you how to put the proper nutrition in your body to better burn that fat. And go to myphdweightloss.com. Get your consultation today. myphdweightloss.com. Coming up in the next hour, we got Super Bowl futures for 2022. for the 2022 season, 2023 Super Bowl. We got that coming up. What's going to happen with the Bengals and the Rams? We also need to talk about the coaching last night because Zach Taylor, he made some questionable calls throughout that game that I think cost the Cincinnati Bengals in the end. But we'll get all into it over the next hour, as well as in the third hour, the happy hour. We're going to be doing the second round of the overrated band bracket in Musicocracy Monday.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, our numbers running about 10 degrees colder than average for this Valentine's. Our lows down into the low 20s here for the valley and even some teens with higher elevations tonight. We do warm up this week. I've got some 60-degree numbers for you by Thursday. 53 our high Tuesday, 55 on Wednesday, and some 1-inch rains coming in Thursday and mild temperatures, highs of 62 by Thursday. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Get a better breakfast at Wendy's. Buy any breakfast sandwich and get any size drink in a Wendy's cup free. Hot coffee, Diet Coke, or vanilla Frosted-Chino? Yes, free. Get your free drink when you buy a Wendy's breakfast sandwich today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A hamstring injury will delay guard James Harden's 76ers debut. He's out until at least after the All-Star break with the injury. Teams hoping the rest will help Harden fully recover from the hamstring and that he can make his debut before the end of the month. Philly's first game after the break is Friday, February 25th. Should be an interesting NFL offseason in Arizona. ESPN's Chris Mortensen reporting the Cardinals and quarterback Kyler Murray are at odds. He thinks he's being framed as the scapegoat for the one and done in the playoffs. A source said the organization feels Murray is self-centered, immature, and somebody who points fingers. Our Keyshawn Johnson.
I don't know how they fix it. I mean, I'm sure they're going to work on it, but I don't think that in that building they're convinced that he is the guy long-term moving forward for them. And I mean long-term beyond next year. And we'll see. He doesn't like the way that they've been dealing with him and handling his situation.
He of Keyshawn, Jay, and Max. NHL star center Jack Eichel will return from a neck injury and make his Vegas Golden Knights debut Wednesday against the Avalanche. He is slotted as the Knights' #1 center.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Deposit. That's deposit. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on now to ESPNABL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Second hour of the program. We are in the Ingalls studio. Check them out, ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings. Yes, we live in a different world than we did yesterday, a world where Matthew Stafford is the Super Bowl champion. I still have to keep saying it over and over again because forever Matthew Stafford was the guy who was never going to be anything more than, what Rob Parker from Fox Sports always likes to call him Stat Padford. Just a guy who pads the stats and doesn't win anything. Well, he goes to L.A., and in his first year, he wins the Super Bowl with the L.A. Rams.
And my opinion of him changed exactly zero.
Exactly zero. You saw nothing from him last night that went, yeah, he's shown some growth.
I always thought he was a really good quarterback that was 100% a product of what was around him. I still feel that way.
You still feel that way.
Oh, cool. You won a Super Bowl. So did Trent Dilfer. So did Joe Falco.
But you definitely put him in that category.
He is a better version of that, yeah.
Okay. I'll take a better version of that.
I heard a debate of, is Matt Stafford a first ballot Hall of Fame? Stop talking. That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life.
I'm a Georgia fan, and I think that's ridiculous. So let's stop with all of that. I mean, it's just great to see Matthew win a championship. It just so happens it came just a month or so after Georgia won their national championship. So it's been a year for the Dogs this year. Will next year be a year for the Dogs? We have futures. We have futures for next year's Super Bowl, and I mean I'm kind of surprised at some of these odds.
I am surprised at some, but there is very little surprise at the top.
Well, odds-on favorites next year, we have a tie, according to betus.com, promo code Sportsocracy. Remember, you can set yourself up an account there, put in the promo code, and get a 125% deposit bonus up to $2,500. Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills at plus 650.
And that's exactly where that should be.
Sure. Then you got the Rams at plus 1,000. That's taken into account. Hopefully not a lot changes.
Well, that's taking into account that Aaron Donald has said what he said, and the rumors with Sean McVay. That's another thing, by the way, that tells me that Sean McVay rumor, there's more to it than people think. There's no way. If I knew definitively Donald was coming back and McVay were coming back, that number would be smaller.
Of course.
I would say they would be tied with the Chiefs and the Bills. Those would be no doubt three favorites to make. I was
going to say, if not a smidge behind, maybe at 700.
I would actually say they'd be a smidge ahead of them because the NFC is not nearly as good as the AFC is.
Okay. And then you got the Dallas Cowboys at 4, which
is stupid.
I mean, I guess they're just trying to get Cowboys Nation on the bandwagon here.
They're trying to bait you. There's no doubt. And it's going to work. It's going to work. You brought back the whole coaching staff. The defense was so good. No one.
Right. It's a go-to year. It's a must-win year for Mike McCarthy. All the pressure put on that means that's more of a detractor to me than it is an attractor to the Dallas Cowboys' future for next year. You got the San Francisco 49ers and the Cincinnati Bengals at plus.
The 49ers blows my mind.
At plus 1,400.
With a second-year quarterback that's thrown 8 passes in this league. That's just so high to me.
Who would you have ahead of them?
Who would I have ahead of them?
Yeah, who would you have ahead of San Francisco
I would have Green Bay ahead of them. I would have Cincinnati ahead of them. I would have Baltimore ahead of them. San Francisco would be in that plus 2,000-ish range to me.
Okay.
I would probably have Tennessee ahead of them.
Yep.
And then we get to the one that I look at and go, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The LA Chargers are plus 2,500. What that means is if you put $100 on that, and you are correct, you will win $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
That number is stupidly high. Stupidly. I would say it's 2 times too high.
You think next year can be the year that the Chargers turn it around?
What do they not do well?
What do they not do well?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guard against the run.
That's one.
And they don't run very well.
That's 2. How many problems in the NFL are easier to fix than those 2? We don't punt well. You're right. That is easier. Sign a new punter. There you go.
Right.
That was one that jumped off the screen to me. They're with the Cardinals and the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Well, we always know the Patriots are going to be overblown. The Patriots are overblown.
Not really.
Year.
I would say they're right. I would say 2,500 is about right.
Okay.
That's the ones that blow my mind. The New Orleans Saints at plus 3,300. You could give me the Saints at plus 33 trillion, and I would still go, well, how much money do you want to set on fire?
I don't know what they're basing that on. I guess is that there's not much change with Dennis Allen coming in, and that the offense will be run pretty similarly to what Sean Payton had, and they're getting Michael Thomas back. They're taking a lot into account there. But they're about middle of the pack,
and none of it makes a whole lot of sense to me.
I thought the number one that you would look at and
Tampa
it
Bay.
was Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It was Tampa Bay at plus 2,200.
Stop.
Oh, just wait till we get Kyler Murray. Every fan page over the last 3 days for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has been talking about, can we get Kyler Murray to come in here? No, I don't believe we can. I mean, look, Jason Light is a great GM in this league. And maybe he could figure out a way to make it happen. Mm-hmm. But I am not going to hang my hat on that. I'm kind of reserved that we're going to have Kyle Trask, and we're going to have to move on with it as it is.
The only thing that I will say about Tampa Bay is that it's in the same realm as the Rams. As long as there is a rumor out there that Tom could come back, they're not going to lose their tail on Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah, which they put him on the reserve list or whatever, that if he comes back, he has to come back to Tampa because he's still technically under contract with us.
Yes, and that is not out of the ordinary at all.
No. CYA.
But you have to, and that's what Vegas is doing, you have to protect yourself just in case that were to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because Brady is a little bit of a wild card.
I mean, I don't think there's much wild card left. I feel like now that he's announced it and he's gone through the process, like there's no turning that back.
Yeah, I don't agree with you.
Okay.
I could see Tom being one of those that it comes August and he just goes, I don't want to sit at home. Do I think that's going to happen? No.
Right.
But enough that number makes sense? Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because if he were to come back, then they should be in that Rams, Bengals, Packers territory.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that the quarterback situation there is iffy at this moment with the reports about Carson Wentz, but I would think Indianapolis should be higher on this list.
Indianapolis should be drastically lower.
Really?
Because their quarterback might be me. Oh, it's not going to be Carson Wentz. Okay, what's it going to be? How are you going to resolve that situation? You gut the roster to make a deal for a quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
It's not as ready-made of a contender as people think.
Okay.
I think every team in the AFC that's not on the high side, so every team that's not the Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, Chargers, Ravens, they should all be lower.
Mm-hmm.
Because coming out of the AFC is going to be like a minefield.
No doubt. I mean, look, one of my best friends in the world, Scott Cutshall, he's a longtime Cincinnati Bengals fan. I was talking to him yesterday. He loaned us the jerseys that we were wearing yesterday at the social so we could rep the Bengals.
The Bengals sew their jersey numbers on, which was weird for me as a Jets fan because I think we just iron ours on. we might take spray paint and just paint them on. We don't keep players long enough to justify the stitching bill.
But I mean, I feel like I need to be on some form of emotional watch today with Scott. He's in the comments, and I know he's dealing with a lot of pain right now, but he told me that he had been watching game film all morning, like trying to figure out exactly who to blame for all of this going down the way it did. And Eli Apple is one of them. Isaiah Prince is another one that he has shouted out to me in text conversations.
Isaiah Prince is not he's not getting free beers in Cincinnati today.
But Scott's also a big Red Sox fan, so I had to ask him, like, so this is now your Buckner tape? This is now the thing that you're going to just spin yourself into oblivion?
Oh, and I will say, I spent a lot of last night going, I would just be gutted. But you did at least get there. Which is and I'll be honest with you, there's virtually no doubt to me that that's not the only time you're going to get there.
Well, to me, everything after making the playoffs and winning the division was icing on the cake. I get that you were so close and you had a lead in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl and you could almost taste that victory. And then the way it ended definitely leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. But yeah, I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals, they should be right on the edge of contending continuously for the next 4 to 5 years, right?
Oh, absolutely. This narrative that the clock struck midnight and now they're going to go back to being 5-12 is insane to me.
I mean, the team.
Do you realize that this team got to a Super Bowl with? I'm going to be generous and say a bottom 10 in the NFL offensive line, and I would argue a bottom 10 in the NFL head coach. And you got to the Super Bowl. Do you realize how good that means your quarterback is?
Right.
And how good Jamar Chase is? And how good Trey Hendrickson is?
But will he be the next Dan Marino that doesn't get there again, after getting there early in his career? Now, obviously, Dan had a better coach and all that. We don't need to talk about that. But I mean, that's the thought, the process right now is that we made it this far. And now we're just expecting everything to implode because we have Mike Brown as the owner, because we don't have we don't have the greatest of track records here. I mean, all those great seasons that they had under Marvin Lewis, where they were 1 and 2, 3 seed in the AFC, and then couldn't even win a playoff game. It's hard to come back from something like that.
Well, the Mike Brown narrative is old and lazy, and in the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, former players basically said, "Yeah, this is a different regime."
Mm-hmm.
I think it's his daughter is doing a lot of high level things for the organization. That's the reason that their social media is so good. They've turned a corner. Now, my question is there a team towards the bottom of that list that could be Bengal level value? The chances of that are very slim. The Bengals are one of the deepest dark horses to ever make it to the Super Bowl. But I really feel like I'm not going to say we should have seen that part coming.
Mm-hmm.
But I look back at our derision of them and go, okay, you should have known better than that. We don't swing and miss that aggressively very often.
I don't think we'll ever be that wrong again.
I hope not. I surely hope not.
But think about it. In order for that to happen, then that means next year one of these teams would have to be in the Super Bowl. The Lions, the Jaguars, the Jets, the Texans. I'll even throw the Giants and the Bears in there. That's
not going to happen.
Right. That would be Bengals level upset.
Now, I will say it does give me a little bit of happiness that we would be my Jets would be the best of those 6 teams. Not by much, but just barely.
Just barely.
But there are a couple distant teams that I look at and go, if things broke your way, the Washington Commanders.
That's the one I was
wound up
looking
with
at.
a quarterback at plus 5,000, they have the same odds as the Falcons. The Falcons could be allowed to play 14 players at a time, and they still wouldn't be any, and I still wouldn't take them.
You got the Raiders in there, too.
I like that. I like that one, too.
The Raiders.
There's actually 3 of them at plus, 2 of them at plus 5,000, 1 of them at plus 4,000 that I look at and go, ooh. Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
Do I love it? No. But, man, that's a swing for the fences that I don't hate in any shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah, but that's one of those I would think, obviously, it's going to depend on who comes in to be their quarterback. They can't do it with...
Well, I mean, that's the reason they put these out.
Could they do it
projecting
with, Could they do it with Kenny Pickett? If Kenny Pickett is the pick in the first round, you think a rookie could come into Pittsburgh and make them better than what they were this past year?
Could he be worse than Ben was? Honestly. The ghost of Hall of Fame quarterback past. Can he be worse than that?
It's a very small chance.
Yeah, it's not much one. There were 4 starting quarterbacks in the NFL this year that were worse than Ben Roethlisberger.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, it's a possibility.
Right.
The question would be, could you find a higher level quarterback? The interest that I hear at Tyrod Taylor, I don't love that.
Right.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
But I look at Washington and go, Washington with Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, there's value there. A tremendous amount of value there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you have to project and you have to go down the rabbit hole a ways. But between the 3 I just said, the Minnesota Vikings and the Miami Dolphins, those are teams that there is enough different that I could see you being better than they think. That's all you're going to find here. The chances of another plus 12-5 team making the Super Bowl, virtually non-existent.
Right. We all wanted it to happen. Some little part of us all wanted it to happen for the Cincinnati Bengals. But I have to keep throwing this out there for my Bengal fan friends. Like, you got there when you never were supposed to be there in the first place. Money. You weren't even supposed to be in the discussion for the division this year.
This was house money. And now you have to look at the AFC and go, we thought this was going to go through the Bills and the Chiefs for the next 10 years. Well, now you got to add the Bengals to that. And I fully believe you're going to be able to add the Chargers to that as well. 2 of these from the same person. Whoop. Always helps when I turn the button up.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Rob Johnson, if the Bengals had an offensive line, they would have won last night by 14 plus. And do you buy the Colts moving on from Wentz? I agree with the first, and I don't know that Indianapolis has a choice. You can't be this good and be that bad.
You have to move on.
And there's been a lot of weird come out of that the front office about how they feel about him and how they felt he went into this season. Mm-hmm. And this is the question that a lot of these teams have to be asking. And this is something that I've always told my children. Don't tell me the problem, give me a solution. It's one thing to complain about the sky being blue. Well, there's nothing you can do about it. And now, is there something that you can actually remedy? Is there a solution of a better quarterback that Indianapolis could have, Pittsburgh could have, all of these quarterback needy teams? Do you have a solution? On our YouTube channel, we're putting out 7-round mock drafts right now. And Washington Commander fans did not love the fact I gave them Sam Howell. Okay, what's your alternative?
Mm-hmm.
What would you
Jimmy
rather
Garoppolo.
do? And here's the thing. I can't project that trade. Going into this, that's the way these mock drafts work. As the roster sits now, you don't have a lot of money. I don't quite know how you would make the Garoppolo thing happen. But if you did, then okay. But if you did, you're probably not going to have the 11th pick. So,
well, would you think they'd have to give up that 11th pick in a trade?
I do.
You think the price on Jimmy's that high?
Here's any starting level quarterback, the price is going to be double what you think it is.
Okay.
Because they're just not out there.
I think Matt Stafford just proved that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matt Stafford just kind of set the market on quarterback trades. You want to win a Super Bowl? Look what Matt Stafford just did coming from the Detroit Lions to the LA Rams. So maybe, they got 2 wins out of that deal.
Stephen Tao asked in the comments, when's the North coming? The North will be, all of the North, the NFC and AFC North will be out tomorrow. The AFC and NFC West will be out tonight.
Right here in the Sportsocracy. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. We got a weird news coming up next. We got 5 on it as well. And yeah, let's talk about Zach Taylor. You mentioned just a second ago that you thought he was a bottom 10 coach in the league?
He's probably bottom half. I was probably.
Okay, bottom half. Well, last night he made some bottom half decisions. We'll talk about that up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, our numbers running about 10 degrees colder than average for this Valentine's. Our lows down into the low 20s here for the valley and even some teens with higher elevations tonight. We do warm up this week. I've got some 60-degree numbers for you by Thursday. 53 our high Tuesday, 55 on Wednesday, and some 1-inch rains coming in Thursday and mild temperatures. Highs of 62 by Thursday. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your Time Saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stopping going Haywood County near Clyde 40 eastbound between exit 27 and NC 215 due to an accident at mile marker 27. On the Captain Jeff Owen Bridge, traffic volume moving well and steady. The westbound side is busier. Smoky Park Highway moving problem-free. Patton Avenue, no delays. New Leicester Highway moving well. Hendersonville Road, no backup. Sweeten Creek Road, problem-free. Checking the drive time from West Asheville to Biltmore Village via Meadow Road. Drive time 11 minutes. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. DQ fans, Valentine's Day needs no reservations. Just a DQ Cupid cake. It's got a layer of red velvet cake blizzard, cake pieces, and cream cheese icing. And it's the perfect size for 2. So head to DQ and make the DQ Cupid cake the centerpiece of your celebration. Only at your DQ. Happy tastes good.
Asheville, masters of rock and roll website.
March 18th and 19th, Monster TNT explodes into the Egg Center. Here they come, metallic monsters and raw horsepower. Starring the high-flying school bus called Higher Education. 3 monster shows. Tickets now at MonsterTNT.com or buy at Allen's Jewelry and Pawn for free pit passes. Monster TNT, the Egg Center.
The madness begins here. Make sure you're at Harrah's Cherokee Center, Asheville, March 3rd through 7th for the Ingles 2022 SoCon Basketball Championships. You don't want to miss the action as your favorite SoCon team competes for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament. Visit the Ingles Fan Zone and enjoy games, radio and sports personalities, interviews, a big screen TV for mascot voting, free photo booth, team swag, entertainment, and more. Get your tickets today at SoConHoops.com.
DQ presents... Picture this. A DQ red velvet Cupid cake made for 2. This heart-shaped cake is at the center of your perfect date night. There's a layer of red velvet cake blizzard, delicious red velvety cake pieces and cream cheese icing. Wait, what's that? World-famous DQ soft serve. Your Valentine is speechless. It's a DQ Valentine's Day happily ever after. Moments like these are exactly why the DQ Cupid cake exists. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Welcome back to the quickest podcast ever, brought to you by Kohl's. Today's topic, Valentine's Day savings. You know, there's nothing I love more than a good deal. You mean like 60% off jewelry, 25% off pajamas, and 25% off hula birth throws and pillows? I just may have to treat myself this year. Did I mention you can get an extra 15, 20, or even 30% off with a Kohl's card and earn Kohl's cash? Okay, now that I'll take over candy and flowers any day.
Select styles, 15% offer ends February 14th. Hula Burrow by UGG. Coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Welcome back into the Ingles studio here on ESPN Asheville. And we got the happy hour coming up at the end of this program, as it does every day at 5:05 on the YouTube stream, Musicocracy Monday. And we are going to reveal the next round of the overrated bands bracket.
We had a couple come from behind victories, and we're down to 32.
We're down to 32. All right, so we will be unveiling the next matchups here. Speaking of gambling, before we get the 5 on it later on in this segment, how did you do last night, Jeremy? Did any of the props you laid on hit or
national anthem? If you listen to me on that one, because that went ridiculously over. I think it went 30 seconds over.
And I wonder if she had money on it. Because all week long, she had been telling the press that they were calling her Quickie Mickey, that she was able to nail it in practice at 130. And Vegas had the over-under at 135, and she went 150. Well, I think we need to check slips and see if somebody in her camp had some...
Yeah, not quite how that works.
Had some wagers on that.
But she also messed up the words, which I hit at plus 500.
Did she? Yeah. I was listening very intently. I didn't hear any missed words.
Yeah, I think she substituted a word,
or she restarted or something. I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was phenomenal. If you took over 6.5 yards rushing for Matthew Stafford, you had a bad night. Because the kneel down at the end of the game, he had 7. The kneel down comes, he had 6. Bad beat of the night.
It wasn't a good one.
Yeah. But I also feel this way about it. If you had over 6.5 yards rushing for Matthew Stafford, you got what you deserved.
Yes. If you had any rushing prop for the Los Angeles Rams, I really hope you took the under. Because good gracious, they could not run the ball to save their lives.
No, they didn't do that all that well. Although, they were able to find... Darrell Henderson a couple of times in the pass game, which I was not expecting to happen. But
that was a good adjustment by McVay. He just saw how they were defending Cooper Kupp, and once Beckham went down, he went, well, there's a mismatch.
Right. Yeah, so you got the over on the Star Spangled Banner.
I did. I hit, let's see, the coin toss. I did have the coin toss because I had the Bengals winning it. I did not hit that it was
heads.
Yeah.
Because tails never fails.
Tails never fails, except it
did last night.
It did fail me.
Except it did last night.
I love that Cooper Kupp went under his projection and still won the MVP.
Well, I mean, when it got down to the end of the game, there was no real decision to be made there. Cooper Kupp was the only guy on the field that you thought the defense really needed to worry about. And somehow he still just kept getting fed the ball in that 15-play, 4.5-minute drive that Matthew Stafford and company put together to win to score the game-winning touchdown. I mean, Cooper Kupp with 2 touchdowns. Of course, it was a no-brainer he was going to be the MVP, right?
Bill Polian said it should have been Aaron Donald, and I'm going to level. I agree with him.
You think so? Just for that last sack?
He was in the backfield all night long. All night long. Yeah, that would have gotten – he would have gotten my vote.
Right.
It would have been close, but I would have voted for Aaron Donald personally.
Right. Problem is, I wonder if they collected ballots too early before that last play happened, and more people would have voted for Aaron Donald to be MVP. But that's neither here nor there. We'll never know. We will never know exactly. Before we get into Zach Taylor, let's go ahead and get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
All right, for those of you who, might have your eyes on other sports going on right now, the Winter Olympics are continuing. But this is one of the weirdest things that I have ever seen. So, Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva, she's 15 years old. She tested positive for a banned substance when she was in the nationals competition in Russia. They didn't find out that she tested positive for this banned substance until a week ago, after she had already helped the Russian Olympic Committee win the team gold. And now they're saying if she goes into the individual competitions, because they've already met and they've already said she's going to be allowed to compete. But if she finishes in the top 3, they're not going to have a medal ceremony. They're going to have to go through an investigation and all this kind of stuff, see if she's liable for testing positive. It's one of the things that I've never really, I've never even heard of this happening before. But apparently, if you're underage in the Olympics, they don't hold you completely responsible for what goes into your body like they would an adult athlete. They're going to be looking at her team and all this. But the fact that she could compete in the individuals, and if she finishes in the top 3, we're just not going to have medals. We're going to have to wait for an investigation. It could be 6 months before these Olympians actually get their medals, just to determine whether or not. I mean, it's another Russian doping scandal. At this point, can we not all agree just no more Russians? We just don't have the Russians in the Olympics anymore.
If you need reason number 407 that I don't watch the Olympics, here it is. Well, we're going to do this, but if the favorite wins, we're not going to give.
Right. Because she is.
What sense does that make?
She's the favorite to take the gold.
What sense does that make?
It doesn't make any sense.
Literally, if you're participating for any other country, why would you even care? You've worked this long to get here. Why do I even care?
Thank you.
Stupid.
It is stupid.
Literally, there is no athletic event that has curried less favor with me than baseball other than the
Olympics.
My story is from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. There is a crime spree of epic proportions.
Okay.
People are doing crimes. They're stealing lots of things. But they're predominantly stealing one thing. You would think it would be cars,
gold,
or
jewelry,
some level of high level, a high value entity.
Of course.
Nope. It's bees.
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 Stealing bees.
Apparently 60,000 bees have been stolen from a grocery store company's field in Pennsylvania. The Giant Company's, it's the name of it, the Giant Company, apparently is a grocery store entity in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
They've lost a third of their bees to theft. How do you steal bees? How do you steal 60,000 bees?
Very
you don't just
carefully.
put that in your pocket. Like, do you not notice a truck showing up to haul away large containers of bees? And what do you do with them? Like, you take them to your house?
Put them up in your own beehives. Or steal the beehives.
Look, I understand that people have weird hobbies. I've always thought stamp collecting was very strange.
Okay.
People that keep bees, I don't, like, can you not just play golf?
But you get all the honey.
First of all, honey is disgusting.
Stop that.
Honey is awful.
You're not a real person.
Honey is gross. My wife puts like honey in her coffee, and I don't. Oh, like, why?
Because it's delicious.
But it's not though.
It is. It's and golden nectar from the gods.
It's bee butt butter.
Butt butter. Stop that.
It's gross.
Jeremy lives in this like cartoon world where they poop out the honey.
And it's gross. And it gets all clumpy and hard. Ugh.
Yeah.
Honey, another of the foods that I just really don't understand. And it's got to be a pain to procure. Like, there's a lot of things that go into this.
Of course.
And I just don't love bees. Like, you do realize that insect's job in life is to harm you, right?
No, it's not. Their goal in life is to pollinate all other living things.
And
all of the grass, all of the flowers, everything that grows is because bees spread the pollen.
And that's fine. I don't need the remnants of the bee.
It's just a byproduct of them giving us all of the green, pretty stuff to look at.
It's gross.
And eat. Pollinators are very important to the survival of the human race. I think you should study up on this.
I'm not critiquing their job.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to figure out why somebody would bring in a U-Haul and steal 60,000 bees.
That's a lot of liquid gold.
I also would really like to know how much is your security bill, because I feel like you're paying too much. There are a lot of things in life that you should not be able to steal. Somebody's house.
Mm-hmm.
I had a story a couple of years ago. Somebody had their house stolen. I feel like that requires a lot of effort. Like, it's not just, somebody showed up and stole it. I feel the same way about bees.
Okay.
Adam Black in our comments said, speaking of golf, the 16th hole at Scottsdale is amazing. Mm-hmm. Next year, the final round of that tournament and the Super Bowl are on the same day. Just miles apart from each other.
Yeah. Oh, Jason Trump, Jason Trump asking, how do they make honey? I think it's spit. I think it's their spit mixed with the pollen and all of that.
I don't know, and I don't care. It's gross.
I think there's something to that. I don't know. My grandfather was the beekeeper of the family. So.
Yeah, out.
Yesterday in Super Bowl 56, I kind of felt like everything Jeremy has been harping on the Cincinnati Bengals head coach for, it all kind of came to fruition yesterday.
And it started early.
It did start very early.
Going forward on fourth down that early was dumb. It's dumb.
Dumb. You're at midfield, and it's 4th and 1, and you've already run into a wall twice. Why are you going for it to give L.A. a short field, which is a team that if you give them a short field, they're going to punch it in, right? I mean, the statistics would tell you that.
It was a poor decision. They go down and score, and it changes everything from early on.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get lucky on the front or on the backside of halftime. So you score on the first play of the second half.
Right.
On the T. Higgins trying to rip Jalen Ramsey's head off.
Right.
So you score on that. Then you get a very lucky bounce on an interception. That should change everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't.
No.
That was the momentum shift where you could have put this game not away, but you could have made it drastically harder on them.
Right.
And he just couldn't do it.
I just don't understand and what is it with Samaje Perine?
I will never understand that.
At some point in the game, you got to look at it and go, Joe Mixon, he had 5 yards a carry last night. 5 yards a carry, touched the ball 15 times, or carried the ball 15 times for them.
He was very elusive last night.
He was. And in these short yardage situations, you're giving the ball to Samaje Perine? It makes absolutely zero sense. And on the last drive, I have no idea what you were thinking.
Well, the last drive was a microcosm of what I have been saying about Zach Taylor. So you have the big pass to Jamar Chase, which was fantastic. 17-yard down the sideline, gets out of bounds, everything goes right. Connect with Tyler Boyd, 2nd and 1. There's 55 seconds left. What do you do? This is the easiest decision you will ever have in your life because they will literally give you the first down. On 2nd and 1, all you had to do was run a play, call a timeout. You could 100% have done that, and you would have easily converted. Even if you don't call a timeout, just keep going. Call 2 plays.
Right.
They'll give you the first down. Instead, you throw one deep, it goes incomplete. Well, now you're up against it because now they're going to line up like you're going to run, which you did, and you got stood up.
Yep. With Samaje Perine.
It's just bad play. It's bad game management. And I'll be honest with you, the Rams did it right before that. Stafford snaps it with 2:02, I think, to go. One of the most mind-bogglingly stupid decisions I've ever seen.
Let it go to the warning.
And had they lost, that is all anybody would have talked about. Why in the world did you snap this ball right here? Matthew Hoffman and I were talking about this as it was happening because we were sitting at a table together. And I said, why would you ever do that? Because now you just timeouts, all of the things that you, and then you have a PI that changed the narrative. But even with the PI, you still left them with timeouts, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
I cannot wrap my head around why you would not feed Joe Mixon the ball on your final drive of the game after he's been doing so well. I mean, dude threw a touchdown pass. It was the first pass in his NFL career, and he throws the touchdown pass to T. Higgins.
And that was a fantastic play.
It was a great play.
I'm not sitting here telling you that everything Zach Taylor did was bad.
No, that was a brilliant play call.
I will tell you that if you go back and watch the last 10 minutes, it becomes really easy to go, I feel like a more veteran, experienced coach probably wins this game.
Right.
I really do. Marvin Lewis probably wins this game. Honestly.
Could have.
Because the Rams opened the door for you to do plenty of things. You just have to make the small decisions.
Right.
And Zach Taylor didn't do that.
Yeah, I still can't get over the fact that you are, in a scoreless game, you're at midfield, it's early in the game. Why are you going for it on 4th and 1? Why are you why are you going to risk giving them a short field? First off, let's point out that Joe Burrow had T. Higgins wide open on that 4th down play and missed him. He tried to feed it over the middle, and there was coverage there, and LA knocked it away. So it was a great defensive play by LA. But Joe Burrow did miss the throw. But again, why are you going for it in that situation? Because you gave them a short field, and they immediately went down and made it a 7-0 game.
And that was a momentum switch. The Odell Beckham Jr. injury, that's where it really came off the rails to me. As soon as Odell Beckham goes down, there is no excuse for you to have single coverage on Cooper Kupp ever again.
Agreed.
None.
Agreed.
Who are you worried about? Ben Skowronek? Really? You're worried about Bryson Hopkins? And that just got dumbfounding to me. You're one-on-one with Eli Apple with the game on the line with the best receiver in the NFL. One of the best, a historical season having wide receiver.
Right.
Can't tell you he's the best one in the league, but I can tell you he had a great year. And he's the only player on that offense that I was even kind of afraid of. And you leave him single covered. It makes no sense to me.
With the worst corner in the league.
Oh, that's not true.
Eli Apple.
That's not even kind of true.
He's not?
No, he's not.
All right.
He had a nice little resurgence with the Bengals. I don't care who you left him one-on-one with. I wouldn't have cared if it was Jair Alexander. It's still stupid.
Still stupid to leave him one-on-one.
Because what else are you afraid of? It would be one thing if you were afraid that they could actually run on you. No shot.
Yeah.
It would be another thing if there was another receiver that you were actually worried about. You're not. You knew, everybody in the stadium knew where that ball was going. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you just handed them. I guarantee you when Matthew Stafford got to the line and saw that look, he went, how in the world are you single up on it? How? Like, what sense does that make? I would go one-on-one with Ben Skoranek with a backup linebacker before I would have left Cooper Kupp one-on-one.
We saw it all season long. It just didn't matter what team they were facing. No one could really shut down Cooper Kupp by any stretch of the imagination. And we saw time and time again him make big plays to get his team to the Super Bowl. I think it was just karma, I guess. He earned it. He earned the MVP award from last night's game. And people who say, I don't know if he's one of the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. I think he probably earned that this year.
Cooper Kupp?
Am I
Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't being too flippant about all of this. I mean, and you think this team going forward with Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods is going to come back from injury. They still have it all. OBJ tearing his ACL. Of course, that sparked up all of the, hey, let's get rid of the turf around the NFL. Players hopped onto that on social media last night like wildfire of starting their petitions trying to get natural grass everywhere because turf injuries are greater, like 30% greater or something like that, all around the NFL. So maybe that's another fight that we're going to have with the owners of getting grass everywhere.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
It's way too hard to keep up.
Oh, I agree.
Way too hard to keep up.
I agree. But all in all, I feel like it was a great it was a great Super Bowl night. And Jeremy, you got some more heaters? You had 3 heaters or 4 heaters for us in Green on Green.
And I have one that might be the easiest pick I've ever seen.
Easiest pick ever. All right, let's get into it. Here comes 5 on it.
I've already given you 2 of these. First one, Oklahoma City Thunder plus 10. I misspoke in the opening segment. Lou Dort is out tonight. I meant to say Josh Giddey because this offense actually runs better without Lou Dort in the ballgame because he's a chucker. Lou Dort is a hashtag card-carrying member of Team Gets Mine, and this offense does not run particularly well when he does that. I got 25 on it, Thunder plus the 10 at the Knicks. Next, I got 50 on it, San Antonio Spurs, Chicago Bulls over the 234.5. First time these two teams played, they were in the 250s. That's the reason this number is so high. I am banking Zach LaVine does not play in this game. Even if he does, I think San Antonio will keep this close enough. 2 very high-paced teams. I know that sounds weird coming out of San Antonio, but it's the truth. And without Derek White, who they just traded to the Boston Celtics, they play even faster. I got 50 on it, over 234.5. San Antonio Spurs, Chicago Bulls. Finally, I got 50 on it. The Wahoo Wah Virginia Cavaliers travel to Blacksburg tonight to take on Virginia Tech. I can't figure out if somebody hit the wrong button, if maybe they just thought that they hit Virginia Tech and they hit Virginia. I don't know. Virginia's a 4.5-point dog, and that is dumb. Virginia is playing drastically better. They play slow, and Virginia Tech doesn't score easily. I don't think, literally, if you told me this was reversed and it was Virginia minus 4.5, I'd probably still take that. I got 50 on it. Virginia plus 4.5. I like them in the money line, too. I think they went outright.
50 on it. You can take those wagers over to betus.com, betus.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in up to $2,500. I am kind of shocked when I saw this line earlier today that you didn't throw it out there. Are the Brooklyn Nets really that bad that they are a 2-point dog tonight at home against the Sacramento Kings?
Well, you got to look at who's actually going to play. Do you know what the starting lineup for the Brooklyn Nets is going to look like tonight?
No,
I can tell you.
Tell me.
Oh, let's see. They will be starting a combination. It's worse than I thought it was. Patty Mills is the starting point guard.
Okay.
Seth Curry's the 2. Bruce Brown is the 3. Kessler Edwards is the 4. And LaMarcus Aldridge is starting at the 5.
That's wonderful.
They have 5 centers.
5 of them?
5. Do you know how many natural point guards they have?
1.
Javon Carter. That's it. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I actually thought about giving that out and taking Sacramento.
Really?
Sacramento with Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox?
Mm-hmm.
Who in the world is going to guard Domantas Sabonis? You know what? I'm doing it. Plus 25. I got 25 on it. Sacramento Kings minus the 2.
There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome, by the way. Sacramento minus the 2 against the Brooklyn Nets.
I have 2 All-Stars, and you're starting somebody named Kessler. And that's their first name, not their last name.
Yeah, it's not Walker Kessler.
Yeah. If it was Walker Kessler, I might like it better.
Again, take all those to betus.com. Use the promo code SPORTSOCRACY.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Lane delays in Haywood County near Canton, 40 eastbound between exit 27 and NC 215. Earlier accident here, now in the clearing stages. Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, light delays. On the Smoky Park Highway, no incidents. Patton Avenue traffic volume moving well. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road southbound, drive time 15 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. DQ fans, Valentine's Day needs no reservations. Just a DQ Cupid cake. It's got a layer of red velvet cake blizzard, cake pieces, and cream cheese icing. And it's the perfect size for 2. So head to DQ and make the DQ Cupid cake the centerpiece of your celebration. Only at your DQ. Happy tastes good.
iHeartRadio Earth knows small changes can make a big difference. Want to reduce your food waste? Embrace your freezer. From bread to meat and even cheese, most foods can be frozen and cooked later. Plus, a full freezer uses less electricity. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/earth.
If you are on the job day in and day out, you know living with pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders is miserable. The good news, QC Kinetics gets it. They understand guys like you.
They don't have the luxury of taking time off. They want to keep working. We are built for those guys that want to keep working and want to stay active. So the vast majority of who we see are the blue-collar guys like me and you.
QC Kinetics uses biologic therapies, just like pro athletes have used for years, to get you lasting pain relief with no surgery.
I want you to continue working. I want you to continue exercising. The joints are made to be moved.
The treatments at QC Kinetics are fast and non-invasive.
It's not a lot of time commitment on your part. There is no downtime or recovery time. You don't need short-term disability with what we do. We want to keep you active.
Call QC Kinetics now to set up your free no-obligation consultation. Learn how you can get real pain relief and stay on the job.
QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
File in a way that fits you and get the refund you deserve, guaranteed. Jackson Hewitt Tax Pros can help you find thousands worth of new tax credits. Schedule an appointment with one of their tax pros and learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
Dell Technologies President's Day business sale has arrived. For a limited time, save up to 45% on all our latest gear to work from anywhere with fast free shipping. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business, so now's the time for incredible savings on PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping and quick installation and setup through Dell Installation Services. Get started by shopping online or contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. Again, the number to call is 877-ASK-DELL.
Welcome back to the quickest podcast ever, brought to you by Kohl's. Today's topic, Valentine's Day savings. You know, there's nothing I love more than a good deal. You mean like 60% off jewelry, 25% off pajamas, and 25% off Hula throws and pillows? I just may have to treat myself this year. Did I mention you can get an extra 15, 20, or even 30% off with a Kohl's card and earn Kohl's cash? Okay, now that I'll take over candy and flowers any day.
Select styles, 15% offer ends February 14th. Hula by UGG. Coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
At Ingalls, we know the ever-present struggle of, what am I going to make for dinner this week? That's why we started the Ingalls Table. It's a website that brings the best chefs and food experts right into your kitchen. You can sort through hundreds of recipes for every occasion, watch how-to videos, and print shopping lists to take to the store. It's all waiting for you at ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls, Low prices. Love the savings.
Dirty Turkish shark back flat.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Shark back flat.
Let the hate flow through you.
I really feel like this is not this hard. If you go through an entire NFL football game, 58 minutes in, and there's been 3 penalties, there probably shouldn't be 3 more in the last 2 minutes. Officiating is not that hard. Just be consistent. I don't care if you're flag happy. I don't care if you don't throw it at all. Just call the first minute of the game the same way you call the last minute of the game. If you're going to come out and say out loud that you did not see a tug and pull on the helmet with T. Higgins, you cannot throw that flag with 2 minutes to go on Logan Wilson. You can do one, you can do the other, you cannot do both. I am so tired of games like this that just feed into conspiracy theorists that think the NFL is somehow rigged. I got news for you. If the NFL's rigged, you wouldn't have had the Cincinnati Bengals and the LA Rams, 2 of the 8 worst drawing teams in the NFL. That's not how this would have gone. And Joe Burrow, one of the prime young players in this league, would not be playing for the Bengals. I cannot stand the conspiracy theory talk of, it was the NFL in on it and Roger Goodell did. And it's real easy to fix. Stop pandering to it. Stop doing things that give them all the ammo in the world that they could ever need. Just be consistent, call the game the right way, and when you make a mistake, just admit it. Don't give some harebrained rationale of why you did it, because then every tinfoil hat on their head, kooky madookie, has everything they ever needed to say the league's fixed. I'm mad.
I agree 100% with you. You want it to be, but and I get it. I get that Logan Wilson call was not great,
awful.
But it was. Hey, it happens in sports. That's what we call the revenge call, or the makeup call.
That's what baseball calls the human element.
The human element, yeah.
And it drives people crazy. Stop doing it. It's really not that hard. If you don't call it for the first 58 minutes, don't call it in the last 2. Do I think it had anything to do with the outcome of the game? No, I don't. Because I feel like no matter when you did that, you were eventually going to leave Cooper Kupp one-on-one. Mm-hmm. Matt Stafford was going to see it, and he was going to score. I do not think it changed the outcome at all. But it did change the narrative.
Yes.
And it is absolutely infuriating for referees to be the narrative after a game that was that good.
The game was fantastic, and again, when I saw it, I went, ooh, that's not good. But there was that big call that you missed on the touchdown to T. Higgins.
And that's what you just said is what drives me crazy.
Yeah.
The justification for a god-awful call inside of 2 minutes is, well, you missed one on the first play of the third quarter. That is the most ignorantly stupid thing I have heard, and I bet I've heard it 50 times today. One does not justify the other. That's like, I robbed a bank and then I ran a stoplight. Those are equal. No, one led to the other. That at least I understand where the two came from. These two calls had nothing to do with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you had literally let this go the entire night.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. You can't justify one blown call by another. Oh, we made it up. That's not how this works.
But we can keep this from happening, can we not? I mean, there are things in place where the NFL could easily have had someone call down and say, no, that's got to be taken back. Because it was clearly pass interference. This is what I just get sick and tired of, is the human element. We talk about this in baseball all of the time. And in football, it's the same way. Everybody watching that saw. And I have no idea why it can't go back and be fixed. Why in the moment can someone not call down and say, y'all missed that, he turned his head, there's no way.
Because where does it stop? This all right. I'm going to be really honest with you. That call on T. Higgins, if the last call doesn't happen, the phantom, and Jason Trump said in the comments, he grabbed a guy at the top, at 5 yards after the route, grabbed him at the top of the route. No, he didn't. Did he give a little tug on his jersey? Just give a little tugger? That's the bulk of what he did.
Mm-hmm.
There was no turning. There was nothing.
No.
There was nothing there. And you have not called that the entire night.
Right.
Had that not been called, that T. Higgins thing wouldn't even be mentioned today. Wouldn't have mattered. would not have mattered because you would have settled it on the field. The only reason it's getting brought up now is because it's justification for Rams fans to say, well, you missed this one in the third. Well, they missed 4 false starts on your offensive line on the same play.
No, if the Rams had not gotten into the end zone on that last drive, say that call didn't happen and they couldn't punch it in on 4th down, that's all we'd be talking about today.
No, and I disagree with you because it was in the beginning of the third quarter and you had every chance to win. What we would be talking about today, oh, look, Matt Stafford did exactly what we thought he would do. Got him at the 10-yard line, couldn't punch it in. Matt Stafford being Matt Stafford. That's exactly how that narrative would have gone, and you know it.
Yeah, that would be part of it. But the fact that you gave him 6 on a call that should not have been a touchdown, I think that would be a big storyline today. We got the happy hour coming up next, only on the YouTube stream. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. 5:05, it's coming right around the corner, and we have Musicocracy Monday, the unveiling of the second round of the most overrated bands bracket.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, our numbers running about 10 degrees colder than average for this Valentine's. Our lows down into the low 20s here for the Valley and even some teens with higher elevations tonight. We do warm up this week. I've got some 60-degree numbers for you by Thursday. 53 our high Tuesday, 55 on Wednesday, and some 1-inch rains coming in Thursday and mild temperatures, highs of 62 by Thursday. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Warehouse's Clean Shop Promise. It's the President's Day sale at Mattress Warehouse. Save up to $800 on major national brands. Buy one, get one 50% off select pillows. Get free next-day delivery and 0% interest financing on qualifying purchases. Visit sleephappens.com.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Lane delays in Haywood County near Canton, 40 eastbound between exit 27 and NC 215. Earlier accident here, now in the clearing stages. Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, light delays. On the Smoky Park Highway, no incidents. Patton Avenue traffic volume moving well. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road southbound, drive time 15 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. DQ fans, Valentine's Day needs no reservations. Just a DQ Cupid cake. It's got a layer of red velvet cake blizzard, cake pieces, and cream cheese icing. And it's the perfect size for 2. So head to DQ and make the DQ Cupid cake the centerpiece of your celebration. Only at your DQ. Happy tastes good.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on, here in the Ingles studio. I almost said ESPN Asheville, but we're not on ESPN Asheville. Happy hour only on the YouTube stream exclusively. Welcome into another Musicocracy Monday, where it's time to reveal the next round of the most overrated bands bracket.
And we had some tremendous upsets. One that just absolutely dumbfounds me.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. You ready to flash the first one up there?
Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
All right, let's see it. Well, that did not.
That did not do what it was supposed to do. Now it's there we go.
There it is. All right, let's try this again. There we go. All right, the Taylor Swift region. No shocker that Kiss has advanced as the number one seed in the most overrated bands bracket over Slayer.
It was not really all that close.
Not really all that close. And then you got Bon Jovi, the 8 seed, beating the 9 seed, the Sex Pistols.
That was close. That was closer than I thought it would be. I'm very angry about the 12 seed upstart Creed.
He shouldn't be.
We were doing so well. Motley Crue was winning. It was reasonably comfortable. And then I said that out loud, and it all went to hell in a handbasket.
Well, it didn't go to hell in a handbasket. Everybody went, well, that's wrong, because Creed is vastly more overrated than Motley Crue.
Patrick Holt asked, is voting open for the second round yet? It will be open after this show.
Okay.
It's going to be slightly different than the last one. So this will be all on social media. It will be all polls. Feel free to share it out. All of the good things.
Right.
I liked the survey. That was fine, except for when we hit 1,000 votes and it shut down and I had to start doing math. Not a fan of math. We're going to Twitter. No mathing.
The Motley Crue hate, though, from you, I mean, it just surprises me.
Well, Motley Crue is just not as good as Creed, and
that's not even kind of true.
100% true, and they're way more overrated because everybody hates Creed.
Motley Crue cannot be overrated, if for anything but "Kickstart My Heart." That's my favorite song by them.
The 4 seed Guns N' Roses comfortably moved on past Soundgarden,
as they should have.
Then, not really an upset to me. But an upset from what was said. Tool beat Def Leppard, and it wasn't even close.
Well, I mean, Def Leppard had some amazing songs. Tool, they had some good songs, but it's part of that meandering. Like, they are the heavy metal version of the Grateful Dead to me. They just have those meandering songs that take forever.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
There's just something that happens later in this tournament that, maddeningly inconsistent.
Maddeningly inconsistent. All right, so the number 6 seed, Def Leppard, gets kicked out, and Tool, the 11 seed, moves on. Then we had REO Speedwagon upsetting Metallica.
They beat How in the world did that happen? Metallica was said more than anybody, not more than any band, but they were one of the most said bands when we did this.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost to REO Speedwagon.
Yep.
Which is insane to me.
And
now we're either going to have Tool or REO Speedwagon in the final 16, and that makes no sense.
But Speedwagon, I mean, they had the one song. They had Renegade, right? And then everything, I mean, Riding the Storm Out was an okay song. But Metallica, especially the earlier years, all of those, all the way from Kill 'Em All to And Justice for All, every CD they had was phenomenal.
Patrick Holt said, Tank just said that Tool is the heavy metal version of the Grateful Dead. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard come out of his mouth. I'm not going to lie. I thought it, but I was just going to glean right by it because I was trying to get to the REO Speedwagon beating Metallica, which I'm just angry about.
Why? Why do you hate Metallica?
I don't hate Metallica. I've seen Metallica live.
Okay.
How in the world is REO Speedwagon more overrated than them? Is Metallica better? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're also drastically more overrated. The final two went exactly how you would think they would. Korn beat Van Halen.
Yep.
Van Halen probably shouldn't have been in this, but they were said enough times that they got in. And AC/DC slaughtered Shinedown. I mean, slaughtered them.
Mm-hmm.
I said something on Friday about AC/DC was faring better than I thought they would. I don't know that there was another vote for Shinedown from that point.
Mm-hmm. The JT Money says, "Can we get Tool versus the Perfect Circle?" Nope. It's all closed out. The bands that are involved are the bands involved. Yeah. All right. So I can't say there were any great surprises in that. I did think Metallica was going to go on because I thought that was a high.
I thought Metallica would cruise to the Sweet 16.
Right.
I mean,
because
cruise.
of all the hate that they get, like after Enter Sandman. Like, after the Black Album, everything from there on seems to be the most overrated crap in the world, according to some people.
Adam Black said you can't be a top 5 band in your genre, Tool and Metallica, and be on this list. Well, here's the thing. We're not saying they're not good. This is good compared to how they're viewed.
Right. It's overrated.
And we left it up to y'all. It was your vote.
Exactly.
I mean, there's... Classic Clay with our first super chat, and I'm not going to lie to you, I am not even kind of surprised that this is the first thing he said.
I'm your huckleberry.
Metallica is far more overrated than REO.
Mm-hmm.
In overrated, I would agree.
I would tend to agree as well.
I'm not going to lie to you, I very much see us doing another one of these that is the best band of all time. Curious to see how different the voting would be.
Indeed.
All right, we're on to the chalkiest of the chalk brackets.
The chalkiest of the chalk.
This is the one that went chalkier than any of the rest by quite a margin.
In the Britney Spears region, number 1 seed U2. Wasn't even close with Megadeth, was it?
No, it was never in doubt. It was always going to be U2, and that's correct. And I'm going to throw this out there. U2 is on a crash course for a Sweet 16 with Nickelback that may decide this whole thing.
It very well could.
Limp Bizkit beating Fall Out Boy. I didn't really have a loser in that one. I don't love Limp Bizkit, and I never did.
Mm-hmm.
Oop, wrong button. Oop, wrong button.
You get, what?
Too many buttons.
What's going on here?
There it is. Nickelback, most votes of any band in this bracket, and it was not really all that close. They got 98.2% of the vote.
Which I'm shocked there were that many that voted for the Eagles.
It was almost 2%.
Mm-hmm. I'm very shocked.
I think the final tally that I saw on this was over 1,300 votes. Somehow Nickelback had about 100 more votes than any other band. So there were people that were coming in just to vote Nickelback. Didn't realize that was an option. I would have fixed that. That was on me. Sorry.
Right. So Nickelback moves on as the 5 seed. They get the Smashing Pumpkins.
They are going to obliterate the Smashing Pumpkins, and they should.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They're going to obliterate the Smashing Pumpkins, and they should.
Smashing Pumpkins win over the 13 seed Iron Maiden.
Pretty comfortable.
Bottom half of the Britney Spears region, Maroon 5, the 6 seed, moves on over Mumford & Sons. I can't say that I disagree with that.
That one was closer than I thought it would be, but it wasn't. I think it was 57-43 once I figured it all out.
This one, though.
Blows my mind. This is the one that makes me the angry of everything that happened. The one upset in this bracket makes me so angry I could just put my fist through the wall.
Five Finger Death Punch is the 14 seed, upsets the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Which is insane because the Red Hot Chili Peppers are so overrated. I thought they were seated too low.
Are they, though?
They are 100% too overrated. 100%. And I'm not saying they're terrible. I don't like them at all.
Really?
Their music is literally, you could put 2 cats in a burlap sack with 5 cymbals, and I would rather listen to that than anything the Red Hot Chili Peppers have ever done.
Well, you, sir, are just broken. I mean, not even Suck My Kiss? That's like one of the greatest songs of all time.
Arguably the worst song they've ever done.
Oh, my gosh.
It's awful.
You're so wrong.
Awful. But the sheer fact that they lost to Five Finger Death Punch, who was one of my favorite bands, that was just insult to injury and makes me really angry.
Mm-hmm.
The 10, that is an upset by seed. It was never close.
Nope.
The Blink-182 support was serious and real and tremendous.
Which actually kind of shocked me, but
One Direction had over 85% of the vote.
And I would love to know how many of those were parents. How many of those people who voted for One Direction were parents?
I don't know. I was shocked about it. I was shocked it was that much because to me, One Direction is not rated enough to be there.
I mean, they were the biggest thing in music like 2 years ago, weren't they?
I guess.
I mean,
and see, by that time I was old and listening to what I wanted to.
Right.
And Green Day comfortably beat System of a Down.
Yeah.
As well they should have.
Which, that kind of surprised me.
If for nothing else, just for Wake Me Up Before September Ends.
Yeah.
Because that song sucks so bad.
And Time of My Life.
Awful.
Come
Also
on.
awful. You cry more than your girlfriend. We get it. It just sucks. It sucks so bad. Just please stop making music. It's awful.
But that song touches me in a special place because they played it at my graduation. Yeah, they played it at my graduation too, and I really would have rather them played Longview than Time of My Life. Because I really don't think too many of us thought about high school as the time of our lives.
I loved high school, so I'm probably
you were tore up at graduation. You were crying and all that. And
no, I wasn't. It wasn't like that. It's just I didn't have the same experience in high school that a lot of other people did. I've heard a lot of people say, like my wife, she didn't love high school. I did.
Yeah. I dug high school, but it still was like I can't wait to get away from you people.
And I think back to that and go, God, the only worry I had in the world was finding somebody to touch my wiener. That's it. I didn't have another worry in the world. I didn't have a bill. I didn't have a shit.
Nice.
Like, just who is gonna right there? That's all I got. And it wore my brain apart.
I'm not shocked by that at all. See, Adam Black says, yeah, that was the Inca 99 class song. Yeah, it was. I graduated in 2000 from Irwin, and we played it at our graduation as well. It was like, there's so many better songs.
Frankie Cleary in the comments said, I think the One Direction hate was stronger than the Blink support. That's entirely possible.
Oh, yeah.
There were no comments. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to with the Twitter voting, of which we're going to do these one bracket at a time. So they will go out 4 at a time.
Okay.
They'll get 2 days apiece. That's how long I can run it. And there will be 2 different. So one poll will start today, and it will stop at like 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and then it will restart. And we'll do that for 7 days. If one of them is really close, the one we're doing last, there is a reason, and you will see why in very short order.
Okay. All right. Five Finger Death Punch, I think, for me, is still the off-the-wall choice from the Britney Spears bracket. But let's see how the other side came out. That was my fault that time. There we go. All right, from the Justin Bieber region, the Beatles move on, the number 1 seed over the B-52s. We didn't really expect that was going to be close, did we?
It was closer than I thought it would be.
Was it really?
It was way closer than I thought.
Wow, okay.
There were a few of these that I threw out there just for I don't want the B-52s winning this shit. And it worked exactly how I wanted it to.
Lincoln Park, the 8 seed, beats the 9 seed Queen.
That was the closest one we had. That was within 2%.
It was a very solid matchup
of
two appropriately overrated bands.
That was literally within the margin of error. I think Lincoln Park was at 50.8%, and Queen was 49.2%.
Wow.
It was the closest one by a lot.
Right. I mean, obviously, Queen, everybody knows the We Will Rock You, and, Bohemian Rhapsody, of course, is the most overplayed song in the history of music.
Is this the real life?
But we all know the words to it.
Is this just fantasy?
And we've all done the Wayne's World thing where we're all sitting there and the big part comes up and everybody starts headbanging in the car. You've all done it. You know you have.
Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
So Lincoln Park takes down Queen. They will move on to face the Beatles in the second round.
That's going to be a banger. I'm not going to lie. Beatles Lincoln Park is going to be that will tell me a lot about where this bracket is going to go.
Right. Then you had the Chicks. Don't call them the Dixie Chicks.
That one was not close.
Aggressively taking down the 5-seed Journey.
92%.
Yikes.
Or 91% or something. They were in the 90s.
Yeah.
There were only a handful in the 90s.
Now, you always got to watch out for those 12s over 5s. When, March Madness, those of you who do pools, there's always going to be one of those. And there you have it. The Chicks move on to the next round, and they will face the Grateful Dead, the 4-seed who cruised over Lone Star.
Did not cruise.
Did they not?
No, it was super close.
Really?
And I thought Lone Star was going to win.
Really?
They did at the last 2 days. Wow. That's one of the only ones that the winner actually switched.
Right.
If we had done this Friday, when we put out the ones that were not close, there were only 2 that would have switched. That one, and there's one in the next bracket that switched as well.
Okay. Number 6 seed, it's Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band take down My Chemical Romance.
Oh, Bruce, the Springsteen Aerosmith is going to be unbelievable.
It's Bruce, and it ain't even close.
And I agree, but I'll level with you. Aerosmith won more comfortably than Bruce did.
Well, I don't know why.
I don't either.
I don't know why. I was trying to make it make sense in my head, but I don't know why. Aerosmith, so they won in a walk over Heart. Part of that may be you have to be so rated to be overrated.
It's entirely possible.
But I mean, Heart had some bangers back in the day as well.
Yeah, now we're getting into the oink. You read that 710, and then I have I got a sound for the next one.
All right, the 10-seed Imagine Dragons takes down number 7 seed Led Zeppelin, who's not overrated at all.
Reasonably close, but it was Imagine Dragons the whole way.
Well, because we're sick and tired of hearing it, and it's fresh in our minds. And then the 2 seed Pink Floyd gets upset by the 15 seed Weezer.
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
This is the other one that switched, by the way.
The disrespect around this place is ending today.
How in the world did Pink Floyd win? Or not win, excuse me.
Right.
I thought they were a shoo-in to easily cruise into the Sweet 16. And I thought they were going to be a hammer to beat.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Weezer. What? Pink Floyd is awful. Awful. Genuinely God awful. How in the shit did anybody beat them? I thought Pink Floyd would be easy into the Final Four.
Right. Not so much.
That one made me so angry.
Not so much. We got, people like Pink Floyd. What can you say? Come on. You can't be like that. I just don't understand the Weezer thing because, again, I would think that would fall into that got to be so rated to be overrated. And I mean, we all liked Buddy Holly when it came out, but
I have to welcome Grateful Dad.
Into
the comments. He stated that it's not the Grateful Dead, it's just Grateful Dead. So I actually noticed that. It takes about an hour to render these things down. By the time I noticed it, it was, I don't know, 75% of the way done, and I have forgotten to change it both times I've rendered it down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on me. That's my fault.
I think we need a bell ring here for Curtis Davis, who says Pink Floyd won due to the power of crimes, and I'm so happy. Pretty much.
There are several bands in this bracket that I don't do enough recreational drugs to understand. and Pink Floyd is easily one of them.
Right. So Pink Floyd no longer in contention here.
But Grateful
and Weezer
Dead
moves on.
We're like an AA meeting for sports. Welcome in Grateful Dead. They got there was a lot of derision, but I'm not going to lie to you, that was closer than I thought it would be.
All right.
Grateful Dead was what the support for them has been strong.
All right, we got one more bracket to go.
It might help if I opened it.
All right, one more bracket to go. We'll see what the big upsets were in the Drake region.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This one was just pure pandalirium. Stop moving!
Are we there? And we got it?
I'm supposed to be able to just hit a button, and it does not work that way.
It's not working that way?
Okay. Do that.
You get it? Yeah.
And wait. Here we go.
All right, in the Drake region, the number 1 seed, Rolling Stones. At least we had all of our number 1 seeds advance.
2 of them were really close.
The Rolling Stones beat the 16 seed Radiohead.
That is one of the ones that was closer than I wanted it to be.
Yeah, as it should be. I believe Radiohead is one of the most overrated bands. You had one song. You had Creep, and for some reason, people still bought your albums after that. I have no idea why.
I like that song.
Well, it was a good song. But that's what I'm saying. That was the one song that they had.
It was the only song.
Right.
See, and I think that's where Radiohead fell in, is that most people felt to be overrated, you must be really rated, and they were not.
But they are, though. But they're a band that, like, people talk about all the time. Like, oh, you just don't understand Radiohead. They're geniuses. So it's like the Talking Heads. Like, I never got David Byrne and the Talking Heads either. But people love them for some reason. Then we had the 8-9 seed, Fleetwood Mac. Go ahead and do your Stevie Nicks impression.
The landslide brought me down.
The GOAT loses to Rush.
Mean guy.
Rush, the 9 seed, moves on, beating Fleetwood Mac. The Beach Boys is the 5 seed, took down the Beastie Boys.
You know what? And I know I said there was no way that could happen. And me, like, no matter who won that, I was going to be fine with it. I thought that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the Beastie Boys didn't move on, and I was so pissed off. It screwed up the first hour of my day.
Really?
When I looked at the voting and saw that, because that one was super close.
Uh-huh.
When I saw that the Beastie Boys had lost that, I just got genuinely pissed. And I don't even like the Beach Boys. Don't even like them. But
right.
I absolutely despise the Beastie Boys.
Well, when you give people you give people the tough choice, you have to make some tough decisions at times. And
This is, by the way, the Jeremy imitation bracket. There's like 7 of these that have a little sound effect when we say their name.
Yeah.
Beach Boys.
It's your favorite. It's your favorite song ever, right?
Ugh.
And then the number 4 seed Dave Matthews Band didn't have a chance. Didn't have a chance against Florida Georgia Line.
Got blown out, which just makes me want to go, satellite in my eye.
Yeah, don't do that.
Dave Matthews eviscerated them. Or Florida Georgia Line eviscerated Dave Matthews.
Of course they did. Have you ever heard a good song from Florida Georgia Line?
Yes.
They have one?
Yes.
They
have a few, actually.
I got to look it up because everything.
They have a few.
Name one.
Oh, Take It Out on Me is the one I'm specifically thinking of. That's not going to be in your system.
No, I'm just looking.
Bet you all the gold in China.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the system here, seeing if I see one that I even recognize. I can always tell though. Like, it comes on and I go, "Oh, that must be Florida Georgia Line," because that's awful. That dude's trying to rap over country beats. Like, I don't even kind of get that.
Yeah, them being squared off with Dave Matthews Band. The fact that was Ariel Robinson, excuse me, her most overrated band. I just okay. Stop that. Number 6 seed Fish takes down number 11 seed Bush. That was the least voted on of all of the matchups by quite a ways.
Really?
Mark Starling convinced me to put Fish in because his Fish derision was really high.
Because they're awful.
I don't disagree. I couldn't name a song that Fish ever did.
Nobody else can either.
Ever. Again, that's another band. I don't do enough drugs.
There's one song that I know by Fish. It's called "Bounce Around the Room," and it's a fun little song, but it lasts for 14 and a half minutes.
After last night, I would love to hear I would love to hear Mary J. Blige do Bounce Around the Room with me. Grateful Dad said, I enjoy y'all, but I have way different musical tastes. Love the jam bands. I like weed a lot, too.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong with liking weed.
All right, so I want to come back to what he just said.
Okay.
Let's finish out the bracket, and then I want to say something clearly.
All right, number 3 seed, Pearl Jam, takes down Boston, the 14 seed. They move on to a matchup with Fish.
Wasn't close, and I'll be honest with you, I bet you Pearl Jam is going to end up beating Fish.
You think so?
I do. I do. There wasn't
won't
enough.
Get my vote.
There wasn't enough Fish hate.
Yeah.
I thought there would be overwhelming Fish hate, and there wasn't. So
number 7 seed, the Foo Fighters, they are out because Coldplay got slid in at the 10 seed.
Yeah, Coldplay decimated them. Coldplay ruined their ability to have fun for the rest of their life. That was one of the bigger margins in this.
And then Nirvana, the 2 seed.
Yeah, your little dark horse to win this.
No.
They got crushed by Rascal Flatts.
Right. Rascal Flatts came in at the 15 seed. There was no stopping that train when it started.
No. As soon as Eddie Fox came in here and said, you don't have any country bands. Here, pepper these 4 in, 3 of them won. And the 4th one damn near came damn close.
Yeah.
All right, so now I want to comment to what Grateful Dad said.
Okay.
There is no wrong answer here.
No.
Whatever kind of music you like, that's totally up to you. And look, I like some weird bands. Crash Test Dummies, I still listen to that from time to time. Most people think that is an assault on their earlobes. Love it. Literally, I could sing every one of their songs. That's a good song, but it's not one of their top 5 best songs.
That's the only song anybody knows.
Once there was this kid who got into an accident and couldn't go to school.
Oh, God.
Oh, I know every word to that song.
Awful.
I know every word to that song. So there's no wrong answer here. That's the beauty of music.
No, absolutely
That's the beauty of music, because we are so damn opinionated on sports that finding something that, I hate the Beastie Boys. I know Patrick Holt loves them. Awesome. For me, if you played that if that somehow played in my headphones, I would set them on fire, maybe with them still on my head. And I have a lot of tinder up here, okay?
Right.
There's a lot of things on my face that would burn a lot.
How can you not like Paul Revere? That's like one of the greatest songs.
Oh, it's all awful. Just all genuinely terrible. But now we're down to 32. We have some special things planned for the Sweet 16. So I will not be here the rest of the week. I will be here tomorrow. I will be here for something special on Friday that we're not going to tell you about until Friday. You'll have to actually watch. And we're very excited about it, but we don't want to jinx it.
Right.
But because if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be very sad. And when it happens, you'll know. You'll go, that's that thing Jerry was talking about.
Yeah.
But we have something special planned for the Sweet 16. So we really want huge voter turnout for this. Share it with your friends. We're thinking about doing some kind of contest with this. We are currently merch depleted, working on fixing that with a lovely Asheville business.
Nice.
That is very well connected to my wife. Amy just gets things done. Like we wanted to do takeout pizzas. People just start giving her shit. Nobody ever does that to me.
No.
Ever. They're like, who the hell are you? You look homeless. Like, go sleep under that dumpster again. Like, go away. Now, the pretty girl walks in.
She's harder to say no to.
Here, you just have all the free shit. You want a franchise?
Yeah. Like, look at this yahoo.
To be really honest with you, I'm shocked Pizza Hut didn't give her own franchise because that's where I thought that was headed.
This yahoo with his mullet coming here asking for free pizza. Nah, that ain't going to happen.
Secret time, Pizza Hut called her after the pizza delivery to see what we thought about the pizzas.
Nice. Excellent.
If I was a pretty girl, I swear to you, I would take over the world. I'm convinced.
This is, again, no wrong answers.
Oh, no.
It doesn't matter. Like, if you're upset because your band moved on or your favorite band moved on in the overrated bands bracket, look, it's not that we're saying they suck.
We're
saying maybe that their cultural influence is not as great as some other bands, or as much as they want to lead you to believe.
And that's why we did overrated band instead of best. Now, I will say, after last night and some of the things that I have seen on Twitter, there is a hip-hop bracket coming that I will have pointed opinions on.
Whew.
And Tank will be that bracket is going to sound a lot like when Tank does draft videos with me.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm this person,
and he's
going to talk now.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say jack shit because the big nerd over there knows all the things, and I don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I got no frame of reference. Put the Sugar Hill Gang in there, and I'm right there with you.
You just say things to piss me off sometimes, don't you?
What's the matter? You don't. I mean, that's original stuff there, man.
If you said Wu-Tang, I could have agreed with that.
That's too new. That's too new for me. Now that one was on purpose.
Holt said I can help curate the hip-hop bracket.
Absolutely.
There are about 7 people that watch this show that I'm telling you right now, we will be the selection committee.
Mm-hmm.
We will not farm this out to public narrative. We, the connoisseurs, will hammer this down. We will seat it correctly, and it will be aggressive. Because there's a few that if they don't move on, I will become visibly upset.
So it's going to be best rappers?
Best, yes.
Best rappers.
Best. Okay. Yeah, because the goal will be we want to establish the Mount Rushmore of hip-hop. Because we did that one time, and it turned into a whole different conversation that went beyond the show.
Okay.
So that will be one of the next ones of this. Now that I've figured out this bracket thing, we can do all kinds of brackets.
See, there you go, Frankie Cleary, Curtis Blow. See, I'm down. You give me some Curtis Blow. And I don't know what you're talking about.
Pressbox is
Pressbox is throwing money. He's throwing money. Oh, thank you. Excellent.
It's 40, right?
50. Aha. Hey, Michael Whiteside, if you're watching, I got you some money here.
Indeed.
We're collecting for the fantasy football.
Indeed.
The Radio Ranch Fantasy Football League that Michael Whiteside won. Anyhow, back to the brackets here. Yeah, there are no bad ideas in the cone of ideas.
Oh, no. This is... and I'm very excited to see where this goes because I'm really curious to see how when we get into the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, the Final Four, look, and I'm going to flash the brackets back up here, and I'm going to make my declaration of exactly how I think this is going to go.
Okay.
Now, I have a better frame of reference because I tabulated all the voting, so I know who voted for what. In the Drake region,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest with you, there is a collision course of Florida Georgia Line and Rascal Flats. Because apparently, in spite of the fact that I am country as cow shit, the people that listen to this show hate country music.
Of course.
Hate it. Just hate it.
Well, not necessarily hate country music, but hate bad country music. Or poppy country music.
Yeah, there is a collision course of the weirdest breakdown of a bracket ever with a 13 and a 15 in the Elite Eight. I almost see no way that's not going to happen.
Okay.
The only thing that could impede it is there is so much Coldplay hate that Coldplay could knock out Rascal Flats. That is one I'm going to keep a very close eye on.
Yikes.
There's a lot of Coldplay hate.
Mm-hmm.
Or a lot of Foo Fighters love. I don't know which one. There were no comments. So I see no way that that's not exactly how that goes. Now getting into the former brackets.
Right. Into the, what's next? The Britney Spears bracket?
I don't know. That's not how I have them saved.
I don't know. It's like I don't know which one. The Justin Bieber bracket is the next one here. So this is the Beatles bracket.
The Beatles Linkin Park will tell me a lot about where this is going to go. There is no shot the Dixie Chicks don't move on. None. They will slaughter the Grateful Dead. Springsteen, Aerosmith will be closer than you think.
Yeah.
I don't really know how that bottom is going to go, but I will tell you this. No matter who wins it, they're going to get killed by whoever wins 3-6.
Oh, no doubt.
So you're either getting Aerosmith or Bruce Springsteen in the Elite Eight. Almost no shot.
I would say I would look forward to a Bruce Springsteen Imagine Dragons in that next round.
It's very likely that you're right there.
Yeah, and after that, I mean,
I would wager this is probably going to be Dixie Chicks, Bruce Springsteen in the Elite Eight, unless it is strongly voted otherwise.
Very well could be. I would not be shocked to see the Grateful Dead move on there, but
I would. I'll just tell you from voting, I would be stunned.
Oh, because that was one that was close, right?
It was closer than you would think, and the Dixie Chicks was not.
Right. Okay. Now let's bounce on over to the Britney Spears region. This is the U2 bracket as the number 1 seed. I will be shocked if they don't move on to take the whole thing. Once I started digging into it,
you're underselling Nickelback. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you.
I mean, look, okay, I understand, but that's going to be a hell of an Elite 8 matchup.
The Nickelback U2 probably is. I'm not going to say it's for the whole thing. Whoever wins that, because that's going to happen. Nickelback will slaughter Smashing Pumpkins, and Limp Bizkit had a lot of support to where U2 had none.
I would agree.
Those two are going to face off in the Sweet 16. I'll be honest with you. Whoever wins that's my favorite to win the whole damn thing.
We're going to end up Nickelback against One Direction in the...
Yeah, I mean, just there's nothing in the bottom 4 that had enough vitriol to beat either one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically the final of this region is going to be in the next round when Nickelback takes on U2.
Right. Okay. You're still on the screen, right? Okay. All right. Taylor Swift region.
Well, thankfully, I don't watch dirty shit on this computer, so there's nothing weird that could pop up.
Kiss going up against Bon Jovi. I mean, I would say Kiss has to move on.
Kiss is going to win, but they're going to get slaughtered by Creed. Creed is going to scream through this. I fully believe you're going to have a Creed AC/DC finals here.
I would say so. I can't imagine AC/DC getting unseated. I don't know. Korn is a band that a lot of people feel is overrated.
Yeah, but I don't really think there's a shot that they're going to beat AC/DC. It's just, for me, looking at the voting, I feel very sure, unless this gets picked up by somebody that can get more musical, because I pimped this out in a bunch of Facebook groups. There's a lot of newer musical hate.
Mm-hmm.
And Creed has no shot of not advancing.
There's no shot of not advancing.
And I will be the biggest cheerleader for Creed ever to lose.
I mean, this has been a fun little experiment, and we can do so many things with this. We can do brackets for days or months.
I do enjoy brackets.
JT Money says he wants an NCAA basketball coaches bracket.
We can do that.
So we could definitely set that up.
Are we talking best of all time or best of now? Because if it's best of now,
it could get hard.
68 is. Good Lord, I can't even think of I don't even know if I can get to 60. Well, 64. There's no play-in games in our bracket.
Right.
Although I could do one of those.
64 coaches. I would say it's got to be all time.
Now that I've figured it out, hell, we can do a 256 team bracket if we want to.
But it's got to be.
Please don't ask me to do that.
But in that case, would it have to be? I feel like it would have to be something other than greatest coaches of all time, because you're going to have like John Wooden's going to be a 1 seed. He'll be in the finals.
Yeah, you're going to have a Dane Krzyzewski, John Wooden. Oh, who's the 4 there? Adam Black has the right call. Movies is.
Movies?
Oh, yeah, because I will barnstorm against some of these dumb, god-awful movies that people watch. If it has aliens, vampires, horses.
Horses?
Yeah, I don't do old. It's like Yellowstone. I will never watch Yellowstone. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck about ranches. You know what got me to watch a show about a ranch? Sam Elliott.
He's in the new one.
He's in the remake. Yeah, I don't care. He's playing an actual cowboy, not an asshole that is funny.
That's actually not true either. We keep telling you need to watch the show.
I'm good.
You really should.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass. Here's the thing. I'm spending way too much time right now watching draft tape, so that's where we're at.
That's true.
Speaking of that, all of the Wests will be coming out, starting with the San Francisco 49ers at the conclusion of this here happy hour.
That's right. We'll have all your team-by-team content throughout the Draftmas season here in the Sportsocracy. And, we'll have the North Divisions coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll be out tomorrow. And then you won't see me for 6 days. Except for one time. You will see me one time.
Yes. Big things coming in the Sportsocracy later on this week.
Yeah, we have we got somebody cool that should be we're hoping to join us.
Indeed.
I am not counting that chicken before it hatches. It is one of my favorite people on this planet. And if we get bumped, I'm going to be very sad.
I feel pretty certain he's going to come through for us. But that's neither here nor there. Of course, we'll be back here with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the Sportsocracy and on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. And, of course, you can hear us everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Any other closing comments? Just hit us up. You got an issue with the band bracket or whatever, just hit us up. We'll always chat about it.
I need the Guns N' Roses haters to come through and knock out Creed. Because if Creed wins this, I'm going to be very angry.
Why?
Because they're not rated enough to be overrated.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
You are the only one that likes them, and it's people like you that keep us voting. So keep it up, gang. Creed all the way. I need a Creed T-shirt. I need a Creed 2022 bracket champion T-shirt.
I'll make them.
You'll make them if they win. That I want to see.
Adam Black. Apparently, I gave way too good a hints.
Yeah, apparently so.
Apparently, I gave way too good a hints.
Yeah, so Friday. Look forward to that.
We hope. I'm not counting the chickens before they hatch on that. I have had absolutely no role in that, so I'm just wishing for the best.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so anyway, we will
Black,
be back.
I will be too. We'll have to we'll have to come together at some point around there. The next 6 days for me are going to be split between Harrah's and then Harrah's Event Center and then Greenville. I'm taking a walk around all of the things that I like before Draftmas starts in earnest.
Yep. All right. So, like I say, we'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Everybody have a good evening, and look forward to the social media, the polls for the next round of the bracket. They're going to start going out tonight, right?
Yes. I will. Yeah, they'll be up tonight. So
Okay.
we'll have, it'll be Kiss, Bon Jovi, Creed, Guns N' Roses, Tool, REO Speedwagon, Korn, AC/DC tonight. So that will go tonight, tomorrow, and then into midday on Wednesday.
Good. Good deal. Good call, Cutshaw. Jennifer makes T-shirts.
I
Have
did
her
not
make
know
me
that.
a Creed overrated band bracket T-shirt.
I have the logo.
Why am I not shocked? You keep that. You just carry it around with you, don't
That
you?
was the only band that found a way into my Dr. Dre Eminem playlist today.
Which is so weird.
My Sacrifice just
just
slid
listening to
right
Ain't
in there.
Nothing But a G Thing, and then all of a sudden, My Own Prison.
It's My Sacrifice. Yeah, my mix on YouTube would make most people's heads hurt because it bounces between every genre. There is no consistency whatsoever.
Yep. All right. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We will see you next time. Have a great evening.